You said hit record, so I'm also recording.
You're already recording. Yeah, that's great. Listen, we're sitting here and we're trying to come up with because it's a cold open, but also we want to make sure we have a topic in mind before we just launch into this.
Yeah, we're
thing,
topical.
Right? It's it's a fake hard launch, pseudo soft launch podcast beginning every week. This is what we do. We're balancing the hard and the soft launch. And yes, I am going to say it that way, regardless of where your mind takes that. Take it wherever you want.
We know where mine went.
You've all the creative license in the world. Look, it's a hard launch and a soft launch at the same time.
Keep saying it, Kevin. Keep saying it. What furry persona is this?
I'm not a furry.
Is this your rooster?
No.
Your wolf?
We're not even. Fuck it. Let's just go. A bit. That would be okay. Are you ready to clap?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
How do you clap in that furry costume?
Bienvenuto a un otro episodio. Shut up. Bienvenuto a un otro episodio del podcast UnPop. Yo soy el capitán y papi todo siempre, Kevin Miner. L. Conmigo, como siempre, es.
Is that?
I've done this multiple times. If you don't know that I'm just saying the same shit in Spanish,
You could be saying anything for all I know.
I'm doing the podcast introduction.
All right, I got it. Right. Okay, here we go.
Wait, no, I'll do it in subtitles.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just subtitles for you.
Subtitles on an audio format.
Who are you?
Sup, bitches? It's Odie Matthews. This is the new intro that we established last week. Yo, I'm the chef. Drink rat piss. My energy drink.
We drink rat piss. We had a conversation. You're a proper chef too.
Yeah.
Movies have to marinate with you. We had a conversation.
I cooked for a bunch of friends last night.
I realized that about you. You know what's funny is that has changed the way that I'm going to engage talking about movies with you because I think a lot of our listeners now at this point who don't know us personally could either gather or just don't know that you and I talk about this anyway. If we didn't have this podcast, it would just be an hour and a half of you and I on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on the phone talking
100%.
about this. So instead we've recorded it and have yet to monetize shit. So you're welcome, listeners. But when we were talking about it, I was like, oh, I should not call Odie directly after they've seen a movie now. Because I've learned this about you, I can walk out of a movie and have some really good I don't think a lot of my perspective marinates and changes. I think a lot of I'm absorbing it as I'm going, and I kind of lock in, okay, this is a theme that I really liked. Here's a couple things here's what I really didn't like, and I can walk out with a pretty good, let's say hard launch view of a movie. You need to let it simmer. You need to let it marinate, baby. You're cooking.
Yeah.
You're in the kitchen. And so what happens a lot is I'll call you and you're like, I didn't like that much. And then later you'll be like, actually, it's good. And
that
then,
was yesterday.
Or you'll be like, that movie was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. And then later you'll be like, actually, the more I think about it, that movie is kind of garbage, man.
Yep.
And this happens, I don't want to say all the time, but a good enough percentage of the time that I'm just going to give you 24 hours before I even message
if
you
I walk
about
out of a movie and I'm blown away, right? Weapons or F1 or Begonia. My opinion...
Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Yeah. My opinion... You said that as a bit, but I like Last Jedi. It's my favorite out of the sequel trilogy.
Me too.
But
let's throw a hot take in the mix. Let's do it.
If I walk out of a movie and I'm legitimately blown away, I think it's great. It makes my top 5. I give it a certified great.
Yeah.
My opinion usually only gets stronger on how much I like it. It's when it's a bad or a good movie. Like a garbage movie, my opinion usually stays the same, right? It's like that good and bad where it like teeters on, will it actually stay there? Will it get better? Will it get worse? Because like I've thought about Crime 101 a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you know what? I stand by that I don't think it's very good. But
oh, yeah, no, I agree with you. No, remember, I didn't disagree with you. I was like, I think it was good for these reasons. I wasn't like, you're wrong.
Yeah. No, I just mean like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like we talked about this yesterday, and I find it interesting. Yeah. This year, there's only one movie that really sticks out as being something that I like thoroughly enjoyed. And like I said,
what is that?
And it's kind of a gimme because it's 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which like obviously that was gonna be good.
You say obviously that was going to be good. I went in going, all right, we'll see if you can pull off this. Because here's the thing, 28 days later was followed up by 28 weeks later,
bad.
Right? Which was
bad.
bad. Yeah, so like to me that wasn't a gimme. So that was a nice surprise that we got a great movie. What was it? Second week of the new year, right? But like other than that, every movie's either been like bad to fun to maybe good so far.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, because like what?
Yeah, and I would say, I guess, like, from my perspective, what I'm seeing from you is, like, when a movie is somewhere around average, either on the positive or negative side of average, that's where you have a little bit of a harder time, or not harder time. That's where you just need more time to come up with a verdict on it.
I think as somebody who
watches
a lot of movies in the theaters, this year I've kind of toned it down recently just because working on other stuff, but, like, you know, even doing Magnum Opus and in general.
Life.
I feel like when a movie is just so like run of the mill, right down the middle, very average, I'm kind of tired of movies just being a movie. You know what I mean? Like with the amount of movies we get every year, and I texted you about this yesterday too. You know, like I saw a couple horror movie trailers when I went to go see How to Make a Killing, which we're going to talk about, and I just kind of realized, you know, horror movies are. Like, we get dozens every year, and only, like, a handful actually end up being good. A lot of them end up being, like, generic slop, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's always been the case with horror movies.
Yeah, I guess
that's not new.
It's not new.
You know? Like, there's just more of them now
well, that's
in
the thing is,
popular culture.
I think that's an interesting, like, way to look at it is because we do have a larger quantity of movies coming out every year because now we have streaming movies thrown into the mix, and we have more coming out to theaters as theaters try to get saved. And so...
Well, that's the phenomenology of saturation.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, saturation within an industry, within a genre, like, the more saturation you have, sometimes the harder it is to point out, like, these beautiful little bright pieces within it.
And that's why last year I think it was really interesting to see as many movies as I did because, and like I told you off pod again, you know, by this time last year, I had already seen, like, 3 or 4 movies that I considered to be great. You know, at this point, I'd already seen.
Last year also had some real strong contenders in the beginning of the year, too.
Well, actually.
You know what I mean?
I have my list of what came out at the beginning of last year. Because, like, The Damned was really good. We had Presence, which was really good. One of Them Days, which was really good.
One of Them Days was phenomenal.
We had Captain America, which we both loved. Wait.
Hey, that.
No, we didn't have that.
That was garbage.
Yeah, like, we just had a few that I feel like. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, there was quite a few bad movies too. I don't know what it is about the beginning of the year. I don't know. But like I guess I just want more, Kevin. I want better movies.
You want more better movies?
Yeah, I want more better. Give me more better.
I would say it would seem here's what I would say about that. There's constantly an influx of entertainment happening. And so although we've talked about how there haven't been as many good movies at the beginning of this year, or at least it feels like there's it not even feels like there's just less quality movies coming out more consistently than there are good quality movies or movies that rate higher or even better, right? However, at the same time, like competing for your attention span, you've got like Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Frieren season 2 just came out this year. JJK is in season 3. You know, like there's some phenomenal things that are going on at the same time that just aren't movies. You know, so like fucking Ultimate Batman, the comic just revealed Poison Ivy. People are losing their minds over it. It's really good, right? It's like a really interesting, new, nuanced take on Poison Ivy. So like, because there's so much entertainment, it's all so spread out. Like, I think there's good quality stuff coming out somewhere all the time, but like, it's always going to be a lower percentage than just the amount of stuff coming out. You know?
Yeah, well, I think that's mainly been affected because of how many movies just come out straight to streaming. And,
Well,
I feel like a lot of those streaming movies, they just don't even look or feel like real movies. They just feel like, I don't know, they just have that feel to them.
Matt Damon, in an interview last year, revealed that in meetings, especially with companies like Netflix, who is about to be like the biggest fucking monopoly ever, and we're going to have to break up entertainment industries again for the third time within a century. But like Netflix in meetings will say things like, hey, it would be really great if in this movie you repeated the plot 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Like they're saying that to the people who are producing these things. They're saying, hey, could you repeat it? Because people are going to have their phones in their hand. So like there's a little bit of like a self-fulfilling cycle of people are paying less attention or have lower attention span. Companies respond to the lower attention span with a repetition of a plot or lower quality movie. People are incentivized to pay less attention to a lower quality movie, so then they're paying less attention to it, so then the companies respond by making
it's a vicious cycle.
It's like, okay, where do you stop?
Right. Well, I think I know where you stop. If companies like Netflix, well, I mean, it's really Netflix. Let's just pick on Netflix for a minute.
Let's pick on them.
If they would stop,
hey Netflix, get over here.
You're in trouble.
We're gonna pick on you.
Cause like,
get over here. Listen to this, Odie. Go. Get them.
If you would stop making straight-to-streaming movies and capitalize on making good movies like the Knives Out trilogy or Frankenstein and putting them in theaters so they can actually make money and people won't be on their phones and they will actually pay attention because it's a good movie and worth paying attention to, you won't have to put out a dozen slop movies every month that go straight to streaming where people are on their phone and not fucking paying attention because it's a bad movie and they're just putting it on because they have nothing else to do.
Did you hear that, Netflix?
Now go eat your yogurt.
You hear that? Stop biting Paramount.
Like, I think that's like a big part of it for me. The more I think about it, like I'm in the theater. When I went to go see How to Make a Killing, the only showing I could make realistically without going to like a 10:30 at night showing, which I was not about to do as somebody who wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, was the on-screen captions one. Now, I've never gone to a movie that in the theater that has like the subtitles, unless it's like an anime movie.
That's nice.
It's not my favorite because they distract me personally.
Okay.
But what I noticed about this theater, and I find this really interesting, is I always walk in right as the movie is starting. I always skip the trailers for the most part. And so I walked in with like the last trailer, and as I saw the theater, it was pretty full, and it was mostly people over the age of 50. Which makes sense because that's where like it's on-screen captions, so like I can understand that.
Yeah.
But when I've been in the theater, I've been in the theater a lot.
I was also there. Have you seen my glasses? I have horrible eyesight.
Yeah, we know that.
I was chilling.
Yeah, you got Coke bottle glasses. It's fine. But like I've noticed theater etiquette, at least where I've been at. I don't ever have any issues. I never see people on their phones. I never hear people talking. I hear people laughing, and then you'll hear the occasional, oh my God, that like the little like comment to the person next to you. But like the theater,
that's fine.
Yeah, and which is, I mean, I do that when I go with like my husband Nate. Like we literally like we'll watch a movie, and I'll be like, that was pretty fun. But like, I feel like theater etiquette is overblown on how like bad it is. Like, don't get me wrong, like the Minecraft movie, those are real videos, but that's like a meme, right? Like the Minecraft movie, like watching that, it was a bit, right? They need to go to improv classes. You need to buy them improv classes and comedy classes because that wasn't funny and it wasn't a good bit to throw popcorn when somebody yells chicken gajaki, right? Like they need that lesson.
Yeah.
But like I think for the most
it's
part,
dumb.
theater etiquette. And again, this is a personal experience. Everybody's going to be different. But like where I'm at, my theater is almost always like my theaters are always pretty full. I don't sit near anybody.
Yep.
But they're always pretty full, and they're always like I never have any issues. So I feel like this excuse that I've heard streaming services use about, well, we can't put movies in the theater because either one, they don't make money, or two, like people in the theater are so rude they don't pay attention. It's like, well, you're not even giving them a chance. Instead, you're making a movie where fucking Alan Richardson and Kevin James are fighting a bunch of clones of Alan Richardson when he was like 10 years old. The movie Playdate. Like, we just get so much fucking slop. It's so annoying. Yeah. Anyways, there's my rant, Kevin.
I love it. I would say that, just to double down on my point, I think it's a saturation thing. The more you have of something, the less you have of the quality that exists within that thing, because you're pulling from the same pool of, or at least currently in the current epoch of entertainment and storytelling that we have, where it seems like the same pool of creatives is constantly being pulled from. There's not a lot of new introduction, entrepreneurial, inaugural director actor performances that are really blowing people out the same way that they used to be. Right now that it's a lot of like, and Chris Pratt's here again, and Jason Statham's here again, and here's Margaret Qualley for the 5th time this year, and here we heard you like Sydney Sweeney, and it's like, okay, all right, guys, come on. But at the same time, like there are good quality things happening all the time. Like Shogun Season 2 is coming out this year. I'm pumped. Blue-Eyed Samurai
Night of the Seven Kingdoms, like you mentioned.
I'm pumped. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is phenomenal. It now has the highest rate. Actually, here, this is a good topic. Now, Night of the Seven Kingdoms now has the highest rated Game of Thrones episode ever, period, for episode 5, which is insane because that was the biggest show in the world when it had the highest rated episode it ever had, right? So, like, this show at the biggest it ever was still did not top the quality of a smaller, more contained story being told well. At the same time, Ozymandias, the famous episode of Breaking Bad, which was like #1 on IMDb for forever, has been ousted by the season finale for season 1 of Vinland Saga, which is a fucking anime, which tells you a lot about like how I think what that is that's a comment. It's a hopeful comment on the future where maybe people recognize, hey, quality. Like Markiplier's Iron Lung makes $50 million. Like these things happening, these are really great victories. And I think a lot of times because there's so much crap, it's easy to focus on the crap because it's constantly in your face, right? But like there's a lot of really great things happening at the same time. Yeah. And I really have a lot of hope for the future. And that's going to bring us into our news section because it's going to be a really great week for news, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound hopeful to the news.
Yeah, baby. It's the UnPop News coming at you fresh and hot from the command deck of the SS Marlon Brando. Let's see what this week had in store.
All right, what do you got, Odie?
I mean, it depends on what kind of news you like, right? Because first up,
you're gonna die.
First up, Netflix bought every company, apparently. It's just Netflix now. I don't mean...
Well, we've been talking about Disney, Apple, Google, Prime. Plus Flix for whatever. For forever, right? This is just where we're going.
But I mean they bought like every company. They now own Walmart, they own Target, Costco, Amazon. They bought everything.
They bought it
overnight,
all.
Yeah.
It's fucking Warner Brothers, and the final bid is going through, and Netflix did leave it. There was a spot left open by HBO, Warner Brothers, or Discovery Warner for Paramount, I believe it is. Right?
Yeah, we've been
Paramount
going back and forth for this for a while.
To counter bid. So this is the final phase.
Yeah.
This is like the last little bit. Netflix is like, hey, here's what this is, and then HBO or Discovery HBO goes, hey, shareholders, there's one last chance for this other company to give us an offer, but we're urging you to make this, to vote for this approval to move here, right? Which is like, this is one of the largest consolidations of entertainment that we've ever seen, period, in like, which makes sense because entertainment as an industry has grown. So obviously the consolidations, should they continue in this pattern, will only get larger. But this is like one of the largest ones we've ever seen. Now, I did mention 2 times already within the past century, the government has had to step in, or world governments even have had to step in and say, hey, we're breaking that up because that doesn't seem good. And this would, if this goes through, give Netflix, I believe it has 30% of the entire global market for entertainment, streaming, things like that, which is
insane.
Absolutely bonkers. I know 30%, like if you say that and you just compare it to 100%, doesn't seem like a lot. 30% of a global market is fucking insane.
That's a lot.
Like, yeah, like if I showed you a map of the world and just took 30% of it and said, Netflix owns this, you'd be like, that's fucking nuts, man. And that's essentially what's happening.
Sorry.
Oh, wow. Gesundheit. You made me say that in German. That was so strong.
All over my computer. That caught me so off guard.
Odie is allergic to mergers.
I'm allergic to greedy companies.
This is why, as a brand, we will stay a employee-owned company.
Oh, is that why?
Yes, that's why. But yeah, so this is like one of the biggest things that's ever happened. I honestly see it going through, and then I see the breakup happening, because what will happen. I can see, like, globally the breakup happening, hopefully, right? Once again, we're being hopeful with the news this week, where there will be rulings in multiple countries and hopefully internationally as well that Netflix has to, and the breakup isn't like, oh, you're not allowed to own that. It's like, hey, you can keep a lot of this structure, but you're going to break it up into separate companies, and then we're going to have different boards of directors, like, so that we're not consolidating so much. Yeah.
Funny enough, the Netflix stuff was not actually part of the news, but that is a good point. Oh,
great.
Because we have been kind of keeping tabs on it, and I do want to keep putting tabs on it, so I'm glad that you knew all that, because I was going to write some of it down.
Thanks.
But then I was like, let's not, in the sense of, like, we talk about it, it's kind of depressing because, like, we just ranted for like 10 minutes about how Netflix doesn't make good movies, and then buying Warner Brothers terrifies me, but Paramount is owned by a billionaire who's a crybaby bag bitch, so, like, I also don't want them to own it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's either you're going with the company that has been, like, destroying certain like creative teams and, like, I want to say the company that's been destroying certain production companies, and not only that, has had a big hand in destroying theaters. Not destroying. I shouldn't say destroy, but, like, in whittling away at the quality
decline
that we were talking about. Or you have the company that, like, literally kisses Donald Trump's feet and cancels Stephen Colbert for, like, existing as a nighttime talk show host.
No matter your political beliefs, but if you listen to this, I have a good idea of where your political beliefs might land. But, like,
you love Donald Trump.
Yeah, because we all do.
You love Donnie T.
Can't wait for that ballroom. But, like, despite your political beliefs, for one, if the leader of a country, one of the biggest countries on the planet, is getting involved in a Hollywood movie deal, something is very wrong. Like, a president has more important things to do than to be like, hey, you should let my friend, the billionaire, buy your company. Shut the fuck up and go do your job. Shut the fuck up and fix my egg prices. But secondly,
I think
secondly, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I think the lesson we're learning here, because this is, I heard ad nauseum in 2024. I want to elect a businessman to run the country because of the economy. And it's like, oh, what have we learned over the past 2 years? The economy isn't the whole country. Did we learn that yet? Did you learn that a country is not just an economy, and that reducing yourself to a number on a spreadsheet because a businessman is overseeing literally a cultural force in the world is a bad thing? Oh, okay,
but also a failed businessman. Like, out of all the businessmen, like, anyways, first bit of news.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't matter what you say because people are just be like, yeah, but, and it's like, he literally was born with a silver spoon. He has had more bankruptcies than you will ever have the chance to have. And that's not because he's some genius entrepreneur that never quits. It's because he has a well of money. Like, he's always had a well of money. Like, and so there's no talent. There's no, like, grit or drive there. It's literally just backhandedness, a well of money, and egotism. Yep. Like, and the fact that people conflate that with the same type of grit and determination that creates a small town business legend is fucking insane to me.
Yeah.
But I've come to terms with the fact that I'm never going to be able to properly craft that analogy or metaphor for some people. And so I'm just not going to get across to them. I'll say it a million times, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm going to say the same thing I've said.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on. We got some hopeful news.
Yeah.
Hopeful news. Let's keep going.
Keep
the hope up.
Mandalorian and Grogu. We got the official trailer.
You mean we got like 30% of 30 to 40% of the movie in a
I feel like
trailer
60
now.
to 70, but yeah.
It was a lot.
It was the whole
we
movie.
even got like the one shot that might not even make it into the film of like an alien likely bounty hunter character going, "I like this kid," and I'm like, "Fucking
okay." Here's the thing.
kill me now.
I have a lot of thoughts about this. As
Hit me.
you know, and our listeners probably know at this point, and if you don't know, you're about to learn. Star Wars is like the franchise that defined my childhood. It defined my love for movies. It's my first and longest obsession as a human being on this planet. And I also have said openly, even on this podcast, that even the bad stuff like The Acolyte or the sequel trilogy or whatever you think is bad in Star Wars, I like all of it. At the end of the day, I can sit down and watch anything that's Star Wars and enjoy it because that's how much I blindly love this franchise. I've even said that if you watch episodes 1 through 9, it's actually an incredible story if you look at it as a Palpatine story. And I stand by that. Like with episode 9 introducing him back and like having him be a part of 8 and 7, like if you look at it as the rise and fall of Palpatine, I think it's pretty interesting. Yeah. With all of that being said, I'm fucking hyped for this movie.
Oh, good.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
This looks fun. I don't care.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I don't care if it's connected to anything bigger. I hope it's just him and Groglet doing a little adventure. I like that he takes his helmet off. I'm glad that that's revealed in the trailer because I like knowing that going in. I like that Jeremy Allen White is playing Rada the Hutt, which if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, that's the little hut that Anakin and Obi-Wan save in Season 1. Love that he's coming back. That's fucking sick. And the fact that he's a gladiator and jacked, love that. I love that Grogu, like, I love a cute Star Wars character. I won't lie. And I think Grogu is a great, cute Star Wars character.
Yeah, I think anything that I could say to neg that is like non-plus and non-sequitur, so I'm just going to leave that be. Yeah, I'm with you. I think this, like, even if I leave this movie going, yeah, it wasn't a great movie overall, but it was fun.
Exactly.
You know, like, it looks like a fun adventure, which is something I, like, we really enjoyed Skeleton Crew last year. Right? Which I thought was great. It had its own failing points, like plot-wise and storytelling-wise. But ultimately, it was like Goonies in space for kids who like Star Wars.
Exactly.
You know? And like that, to me, seeing it through that lens is like, great. You know, whereas like I'm going into this movie with a similar lens going, hey, all right, we're going to watch Pedro Pascal as, you know, this like cowboy Western character. Yeah, as this cowboy Western character. And then essentially a glorified Happy Meal toy. Have an adventure together. You know?
Like, 100%.
And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I like the moment when he was like, don't touch the buttons. Like, I like when Grogu flips into a little
it's classic.
Like baby carriage and zooms off, and then you see the Mandalorian like fly after him with his jetpack. Like, I think about this is like, yeah, I'm with you. This could I don't think this is going to be a Rogue One movie. I don't think this is going to be an episode 5 or an episode 8 where it's like something that really like has a powerful message and grips you and is incredible storytelling. I think this is going to just simply be a fun movie. I don't think it's going to do anything incredible. I think it's just going to be a fun hour-and-a-half extended Mandalorian episode.
I think my inner child is going to love
exactly.
This movie. Sometimes that's what you go to a movie for.
100%.
Like, we're not all going to a movie to watch Robert Eggers' next masterpiece.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes you need a movie like this in between your more like gritty, grounded storytelling, story-driven movies.
Between your dunes.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
you need
man.
between the dunes.
Between two dunes is Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm excited for this. Martin Scorsese is a voice of an alien. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Now, I would love to see just fucking Zach Galifianakis do, like, remember his Between Two Ferns
yeah.
that he did? I would love to see Between Two Dunes, and he's just sitting there. he's just like, so, Paul, I hear that your presence can be oppressive. Like, you know, like just fucking awkward interview.
Oh, man, that was such a good show.
That's what I want.
The fact that he got like Obama on that show is incredible.
I loved Between
It's
Two
so
Ferns.
good.
What a great bit.
So good.
Did you see the movie?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've seen everything.
I loved it. It's so
it's
great.
Yeah, I'm not a big Zach Galifianakis fan, but I like him in that a lot. Like his movies don't always do it for me. But anyways, I'm excited for Mandalorian and Grogu. What I'm interested in the most in terms of the broader Star Wars scope as a Star Wars fan is Ahsoka season 2 is supposed to come out this year. And that's kind of doing this Thrawn thing. And we know that Dave Filoni, now that he's taken over Lucasfilm as the creative director, he wanted to do a movie, potentially even like a series of movies about what Ahsoka and Ezra and the Mandalorian and all of those characters do to fight Thrawn. And I'm okay with that. But there is the part of me, and I think I've said this before when we talked about Ahsoka, it's hard to get invested in what these characters are going to be doing post episode 6 if we know that by episode 7 it doesn't matter. And I think that
somewhere there is a we were talking about our inner child. Somewhere there is a kid, like
somewhere
6,
there's a kid.
7, 8, 9, 10. Somewhere there's a kid. But no, like that's the age that we were when we first saw like Star Wars, A New Hope, or something like that. And they're going to be blown away by this, and they're going to get into, and that to me is enough of a like happy thought to just be like, this is great.
I know exactly how old I was when I first watched Star Wars.
I was 5.
Oh, wow. I saw
cool.
episode 1 in theaters at 5 years old.
Yeah. The thing, I always loved movies, period. Like, what's really funny is like I don't think Star Wars has ever been my favorite franchise. When I was 5, my favorite movie was Wayne's World.
Hell yeah.
But like, like probably explains a lot about who I am and what like the animated raccoon character that I've become. But like, I didn't really get into like storytelling until I played Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
that was like and I feel like I shared that moment with a lot of people who are like fucking millennials, first off, but like a lot of people who like played the game. Well, I think like
no, we're both
older
millennials. We're both millennials. Yeah.
Older millennials.
You're an older millennial. I'm a middle of the I'm the middle of the road millennial.
Yeah. I feel like that was like the thing that showed me, and so the way that I analyze story comes from this concept of like that game and the dramatic shifts that happen and like the way that the world changes and stuff, which is very different from the hero's journey that Star Wars, functions on, whereas ours is like Final Fantasy VII was like, here's a bunch of complex characters and we don't know how you're going to feel about them, but you're going to love the battle system.
That's,
like,
yeah. Like I remember coming out of Star Wars at like 5 years old. And I don't remember this, but I just know this is what sparked it, because obviously I don't remember a lot from when I was 5. But I just know that when I walked out of Star Wars Episode 1 at 5 years old, I just remember being like, I'm going to watch every movie that's ever existed. And that's what just made my love for movies, because I was just so blown away, You know
what did that for me? And we were talking about it this week. The movie that did that for me was The Fifth Element, which is probably my favorite. I texted you this week. I was like, I think this is my comfort film, because I turned it on like randomly this week. I was exhausted. I just wanted like something on to make me like smile as I'm like laying down and going to bed and kind of like recapping my day. And I just turned The Fifth Element on. I was like, this movie is fucking perfect.
I love
for
that.
Me. Like for me, it's like that movie, regardless of what anybody would ever rate it, is a 10 out of 10.
I completely agree about that sentiment. I need to watch Fifth Element.
You do.
All right. We also got a trailer for, and this is a movie that we've talked about a lot, and I've said I'm very hyped for, and this trailer I think solidified my hype for it. Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Or What Happened to Katie.
Or Evil Dead Rise, but in Egypt.
Or Egyptian Dead
Dead Rise.
Whatever it is. This
looks good. It looks really good.
I think so too, and you mentioned already, and you've already alluded to it. Like, it looks like an Evil Dead movie. Like, it has like the appearance thereof, right? Which is really just stylistic choice of a director. Totally fine. I liked. Here's what we saw in the trailer that I really liked. We saw a glimpse of a scarab going into somebody's mouth.
That made me jump the first time, because bugs are gross.
I will never not be completely grossed out by like the flesh-eating scarab myth.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like people are like, what's the worst way you could die? I'm like, flesh-eating scarabs.
When it gets
for
under
sure.
his
That's
skin
the worst.
in the original Mummy movie, and he has to pop it out with a knife.
Stop it! No. Oh,
Agreed.
oh, God.
I'm with you.
Yeah, flesh-eating scarabs, the worst. Like, this movie could be flesh-eating scarabs, the cursed, and I'd be like, I'll watch it, but I'm gonna.
It's
hate
gonna make
this.
me very uncomfortable.
It's so gross. Because it's like body horror, but not.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we got that. We got a glimpse of like very this made me think of Silent Hill. We got like chains crawling out from the shadows to strangle somebody. I was like, that also is very Evil Dead. But it's very like, that made me think of Silent Hill, because there's like, have you seen Silent Hill?
Yeah.
Any of the Silent Hills?
One of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a big component of that. But like, I like that her body looks all like contorted and twisted and weird.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's where people think that it's the most Evil Dead like, is the way that Katie looks,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like, she looks like a creepy little girl mummy, and I like that.
yeah.
Okay,
She got mummified.
the thing that I like,
They mentioned there's like 50 plus,
58 kids,
like,
but how many of them were
what
still
the
alive?
fuck?
So like,
wild.
interesting. What I think is the most compelling thing about this Mummy movie is, for one,
Yeah.
the Brendan Fraser ones are fun. They're good action movies. They're good, they're good movies. I'm actually probably gonna look at.
Yeah, they're not scary at all. They're just fun.
Yeah, and like, I think there's like horror elements, but they're like 90s
there's
horror.
thrilling parts.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
that's a good way of looking at it.
Thrilling parts, not horror.
I think
yeah.
that those movies decline in value as they go, especially with the third. And then you have Tom Cruise's remake Mummy, which is just fucking
bad.
awful.
It's bad.
And so what I like about the Lee Cronins is, for the first time, we're not just getting your stereotypical standard, this person was alive 5,000 years ago and did something that did magic, and now they're coming back as mummy. No, this is a girl who went missing in Cairo and comes back 8 years later with, like, mumminess. And, like,
well, and we've talked about this. This is the curse,
right? And that's
like,
what it
this
should
is
be.
what
Like,
this feels like.
giving us a little girl mummy is so much more interesting than just your standard 50-year-old, like, mummy guy. Or girl.
I think the only thing scarier than how this looks would be if they did a live-action version of Courage the Cowardly Dog's episode, The Slab.
Oh my
like that
God.
Would be, remember that? That was like a
Do you
mummy-esque
think
thing.
this
That was
is
like a
inspired by
mummy-type
that?
curse. Maybe.
I like
don't
the
know.
spot in the trailer.
Return the slab.
I also, one of the things I liked about this is, this movie's going to make me squeamish. I can already tell. Because there's stuff going on with mouths, and mouth stuff makes me squeamish. Did you ever see Bring Her Back?
Yes.
Dude, the knife scene in that movie,
Oh,
I almost vomited.
Ugh.
Not really, but like,
There's, I mentioned this to you already. This is the sub-genre of horror film that I like to call Midwestern white people don't know when to let go. You know, like they move into a house and like somebody's like, the house is cursed, and then like they're seeing all the signs that it's cursed, and they're like, I'm just trying to make this family work, and it's like, well, do it somewhere else.
Move.
Like, I don't know if you know this, you can move. Yeah, like the Oregon Trails happened. Like there's ample evidence that you could just leave at any
move
point.
across the street, your house would be fine.
And we get the moment in this trailer where you hear the mom say, I just want my daughter back. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, maybe not. Maybe she's not ever. Maybe closure instead.
Yeah,
like,
right?
But then again, this is what I'm like really saying here. These movies don't exist without some sort of like flawed, strong-willed white person who's just like, I'm going to do this because it's what I want.
Well,
and then it's like, okay, well, horror is going to happen then.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was looking at the YouTube comments while you were watching the trailer before we started recording.
Oh, really?
And a lot of them were like, and this cracks me up because it's so true, but like, I think this is what makes the horror movies, like, when you have a character making decisions that you're like, don't do that. That's what kind of amplifies it.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
everyone was like, she just needs love, and everyone was like, no, she doesn't. She needs an exorcism. Like, everyone was making fun of the fact that, like, we just need to show her love and patience. It's like, because what I like about this is her look. The long, gross fingernails, the long, gross toenails, the dried skin, the, like, look in her eye. Like, one of her eyes looks, like, lopsided almost. Like,
Yeah, it does.
this looks good. I'm excited. Even if this
too.
isn't, like, the best mummy movie, I think this will just be a good horror movie in general.
agree.
I think it's going to be tense. I think it's going to have some pretty good gore because it's from the Evil Dead Lee Cronin did Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, they don't shy away from that.
No, and I think it's good. Like, there's even a really good scene where they're like peeling something off of something, and I got the impression that was like a representing like peeling the flesh off of something. You know?
That looked like snake skin
Yeah.
and also like a Sanskrit scroll at the same time. And I'm like, wow, what is that? Interesting. So I think there's going to be some interesting parts. There's going to be some fun parts. There's going to be some scary parts. And, we're going to get the classic, don't do that.
Like I said at the beginning, we get a lot of horror movies every year, and a lot of them aren't very good. But I will say this year,
still true.
It's still true. No, I stand by that 100%.
I've changed my mind.
I haven't.
These are all great. These are all
really haven't.
Terrifier 5. Let's go.
Fuck Terrifier. Right. That movie is just. Anyways, doesn't matter.
It's gore porn.
It's gore
not
porn,
even
and
horror.
it sucks.
It's gore porn. That's what I call. That's that whole. It's a subgenre of horror, but it's just gore porn. Yeah.
This movie, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, and we don't have any information on it, but I've seen one still from it. Robert Eggers' werewolf movie in December with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Debbie Depp.
Lily Rose Depp.
Thank you. Debbie Depp.
Debbie Depper.
Debbie Depper. Like, those two stand out to me as my, like, if we were doing most anticipated movies of the year, but we did it by like genre, those two would be at the top of my horror anticipated list.
Robert Eggers he's doing like an American Horror Story thing. Every time he does a film, he's just grabbing the same actors and putting them in different character roles, which I think is cool. Like,
I love that.
It's kind of like it harkens back to like the old acting troupes of old.
But you know what?
Like I'm 100 years old.
Sorry, go ahead.
What?
Keep going, sorry.
No, but like I think it's cool that he's grabbing the same actors and telling different stories when like the stories are proven successful. He's like, all right, well, let's do this one now. Would you guys like to play these characters? I think that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we are next weekend. We get to talk about the movie that I think we're both really excited for in the horror genre.
Hit me.
Scream 7, baby.
I'm not, but I watch it.
I have a ghost face tattoo. Scream is the first 3 Scream movies for the longest time were what made me love horror in a lot of ways. Like, they're the very few slasher movies I like. I thought Scream 4 was like fine. 5 was pretty good. I was like, this is a return to form. And then 6 was not very good at all. And I'm like, wow, they're just gonna butcher this franchise. But I'll save my thoughts for next weekend when we talk about it.
I think we've talked about this before. My introduction to horror was Alien, and then at a way too young age, I would actually say that, like, if somebody asked me, if you had kids, would you let them watch horror movies, the same horror movies at the age that you were? I would be like, my answer would be like no to maybe, depending on how well we can converse about them. Because like I watched Event Horizon at like 9.
Oh my gosh.
Like there's a lot of shit that I watched as like a way too young kid, but Scream was one that even when it first came out, like it just didn't hit for me the same way. Like I was like, all right, it's pretty good, but
that
like
makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about every single one. I'm like, yeah, cool. It's a slasher film. Got it.
And I get that. We also are getting the Resident Evil movie this year. We're getting
very excited about that. Did you watch the video I sent you of Zach Kreger peeing on Trevor's leg?
I also, because you sent me that last night when I was doing my 20 minutes of doom scrolling that I allow myself to do, I got so many Whitest Kids You Know sketches, and I got the one.
I love them.
I got the one that I forgot. I forgot about this one, and I really love it. But it's the guy that's like, I have an idea for a movie, and this happens, and this happens. They're like, that is one of my favorites because it just feels so good. Accurate.
Yep, 100%.
And the dam breaks, and it floods New York and LA, and goes whoosh, and this big wall of water, and they're like.
Here's a really funny thing. Somebody for Whitest Kids You Know, we can keep. I know we're doing a lot of tangents right now. Somebody for Whitest Kids You Know, though, I sent you that because I was like, because I was thinking of the Resident Evil movies, and then I'm like, Zach Kreger, he used to do all these funny skits. And then, like, I'm watching the skit, which is hilarious, and I sent it to you saying, hey, the director of Resident Evil is peeing on this guy's leg. Because that, to me, will always just be a funny notion. It's like, he's such a great director now.
It's like
and
Jordan
you're like, there he is. He's being silly. But somebody for Whitest Kids You Know on their official YouTube changed the Race War skit because it used to just be called Race War, and it's Trevor outside of I forget his name's window, but he's like got a bat and he's just hitting a fence going, hey, Race War, let's go, come on, we said we always wanted to do one of these. And then he's like, don't invite your wife though. She's Italian. Yeah, don't invite her. But you want to go get some? And like, it's like, he's like, no, I don't want to do that. He's like, oh, come on. He's like, dude, we're not American. And he's like, yeah, we are. And he's like, what are you? And he's like, English. And he's like, that's American. Like, you know, like but somebody renamed it to Join Ice. Like the skit just says Join Ice now.
That's incredible.
Which I think is fucking beautiful.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to go watch that now again.
I highly recommend it. I think it's really funny that they changed it to Join Ice, and it's just Trevor yelling race war at his friend.
The last thing I was going to say about horror movies
Okay.
this year is we're also getting
Keep
the
going.
Clayface movie, which I'm very interested to see how they do that.
Yeah, it's going to be like a body horror drama.
So I think we got some good horror movies, but if I named all the ones that come out in between those, it's not the same. So Lee Cronin, The Mummy, very excited. I hope, my biggest hope for this, Kevin, is that this opens the door for more of these style Universal horror movies. I have said this before, and I will say this again. I am dying for somebody good, not just anybody, but somebody good, to remake a version of Creature of the Black Lagoon. That movie holds such a special place in my heart. If you want to know how I feel about it, I actually did a Magnum Opus video about it where I was like, fuck it, I'm going to talk about a movie that I love, that pioneered things. I have the 4 classic horror movie monsters are on my wall. I got like vintage photos. I have Dracula, the Mummy, and Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Frankenstein on my wall. Creature from the Black Lagoon would make such a good horror movie in this style. I think it's such an underrated Universal movie monster that I'm dying. Guillermo del Toro was supposed to do a remake at one point, but then he decided to do Frankenstein, which I was like, oh no, wait, it fell through, and then he did Shape of Water, which is Creature from the Black Lagoon, but love story.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I want,
but more love story.
Like if Robert Eggers did it, if Lee Cronin did it, if Zach Kreger did it, if Jordan Peele did it, like, give me a good horror director doing one of these. I would love it.
Yeah, that would be great.
You know what I don't love?
I would love that too. What?
Technology ruining all of our kids' lives and them throwing their toys out because we got
what happened?
The trailer for Toy Story 5. Parentheses. This movie is coming out way too late.
Yeah, this looks bad.
Well, like, I think if this had come out in, like, 2016 with the rise of, like, iPad kids, it would be relevant.
Yeah.
But in 2026, being like, technology is ruining your kids, it's like, yeah, bro, we fucking know.
Yeah. Toy Story, to me, it feels like a franchise that, like, I forget that I even have people in my life who are fans of it until a new one comes out. And then there's, like, 2 to 3 months of the people who are fans of it going, oh my God, Toy Story. And I'm like, okay, got it. Why though? You literally never talk about this. And then a new one comes out and you just lose your mind for like 2 to 3 months, regardless of quality. And you know, like, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm glad you love that. You know, like, the funniest thing, the best thing we ever got out of Toy Story is there was a spin-off Buzz Lightyear cartoon movie.
Buzz Lightyear
that
Star
was
Command.
Very self-aware, and it was fucking hilarious. And I remember because, like, this was, like, in between, like, Toy Story, somewhere between Toy Story 2 and 4. But, like, we got this cartoon, and I remember my brother watching it and me going, like, oh, yeah, it's Toy Story, whatever. I'm like, I'm older now, and I don't play with toys, you know? But then watching it and going, oh, no, this is actually fucking hilarious. And then since then, like, you were talking about films that go down in quality as they go along. Like, yeah, the original Toy Story still slaps.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious. It's a great adventure. It's a
1
wonderful
and 2
story.
Are so good.
Yeah, Toy Story is essentially Homeward Bound, but with toys.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of thoughts on this. We've got a really good voice cast for Toy Story 5. Yeah. There was one, and I closed out my app. We've got Greta Lee is playing the lily pad. People might recognize her from Tron Ares, but she was also a voice in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We've got Christian Shaw, Ernie Hudson's in it, Conan O'Brien, Craig Robinson. But an actor that I think you'll be excited to hear in this, playing a character called Dr. Nutcase, is Maddie Matheson.
Okay, that's
I'm. This is a legit one. This isn't me breaking your brain. This is.
I'll watch the scenes. I'll watch the This is one of those movies that Super Mario Galaxy.
Ugh.
Like, I would prefer to go see that with friends who have kids, right? You know, Like, I would go see that with friends who are really into Super Mario or who have kids. Toy Story, same thing. It's like I don't really see myself like my brother's stepdaughter. Like, I can see myself sitting down and watching this with her.
Yeah.
You know? But that's as far as that goes. Like, I'm not like going, oh, Maddie Matheson's in it. Guess I'm going to the
Well,
theaters.
he's probably
you know?
like one scene.
I could just watch him cook.
Yeah, me
instead,
too.
you know, which is better. Like,
Yeah. Also,
he's probably my favorite chef.
I just realized we've been recording for 50 minutes and we've only done 3 pieces of news. So let's speed this up a little bit.
Okay.
Next piece of news. TMNT. Oh my God.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What was the animated one called? I didn't write down the name because I was like, I'll remember that. Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem.
We got a sequel date.
Yep.
August 2027.
What's it called? Mutant Mayhem 2?
TMNT 2. Working title. I put this in
cool.
because...
I hope they keep it as working title.
That would be amazing. I put this in because the TMNT Last Ronin TV show, or it was going to be a TV show or a movie, got scrapped, and they approached the original April O'Neil about being in it as well. The Last Ronin, no spoilers because I think it's a really good comic. I've read it. It's about what if in the future only one of the turtles is left, and they kind of have to go. Honestly, that's like all you.
Which one it is?
Yeah, like that's all
he's
you.
The Last Ronin.
Don't look it up. It's surprising when you find out which one it is. There's homages to things. So yeah, TMNT. Yeah. I like TMNT a lot. I think it's I really like the franchise. I like the original movie. I like this Mutant Mayhem. So I'm excited that we're finally gonna get a sequel like 7 years later.
Still Seth Rogen?
Still same creative team, same actors, everything.
I'm into that. I like that a lot actually.
Are you also into an animated movie, right? From the directors of Final Destination Bloodlines, right? Okay. Feeling it so far?
Keep going.
It's a comic book movie, right?
Okay.
About Venom.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
No?
I'm
you
done.
don't want an
I'm done with
animated
that. No.
Venom movie from the guys who did Final Destination Bloodlines?
I'm tapped out on Venom for a while. I mean, what was it? The Carnage, Total Carnage or whatever?
Oh, my God. Let There Be Carnage is the comedy movie of the year.
So bad.
So funny.
So bad. And it really, like, the first one was, like, I was like, fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
And I love Tom Hardy. I do not love Tom Hardy as Venom.
No, he's not good.
Like, I love Tom Hardy. I think he's a great actor. I do not love him as Venom. I don't care for the universe that Sony has crafted around that. And if this is more of a Sony project, whether or not it's animated, I'm no. No thanks. I'll pass.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Doesn't look good.
I got other stuff to do, man. Shogun Season 2
You've said that
out.
3 times. The last bit of news.
That's all I'm going to watch for like 2 months. You're going to be like, Kev, you have to go to the movies this week. I'm going to be like, I can't. Shogun Season 2's out.
I don't want to end on a downer note, but I feel like it's something we've got to at least...
Hopeful news!
Robert Duvall passed away.
I know.
And followed by Eric Dane yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Who was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's.
There was a biopic on Eric Dane, like, real fast, too.
Yeah, well, they've been working on it because he was diagnosed, I believe, in 2024 with Lou Gehrig's disease. So they knew his time was coming to an end. Also, James Van Der Beek also passed away this week.
Oh, yeah.
So we got some pretty big names.
Is this going to be one of those years?
Yeah,
where
all the wrong people die?
A lot of celebrities are passing.
But Robert,
well, like I feel like every once in a while, like every 3 to 4 years, there's just like a year where it feels like a ton of well-known celebrities are passing. We're gonna get to a point in our lives, like probably somewhere within the next decade or so, where a lot of like the people we grew up with are passing. You know?
Like your Martin Scorsese's, your Robert De Niro's, your Al Pacino's. Like we're gonna get to a point where a lot of
but not only that, like the actors who were like 30 when we were kids. You know?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall, incredible filmography from The Godfather, Apocalypse Now.
So great.
Just absolutely an incredible running for him.
Yep.
Same with Eric Dane, Grey's Anatomy. You know, he was actually in Bad Boys 4 not too long ago.
I actually don't know a ton about Eric Dane.
I know him mostly from Bad Boys 4 because I didn't watch Grey's Anatomy.
Me neither.
And James Van Der Beek, I haven't really seen a lot that he's in, but I did watch his trailer for the newest movie. It's one of his last movies where he plays like a priest that's kind of like evil. Looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, but mostly just pointing this out because that's 3 like pretty solid names that just kind of passed away this week, and that's
rule of 3s. That's it. That's all that's going to happen this year. I changed my opinion. No more celebrities will die.
I hope
this
so.
year.
I hope not.
Those 3 stepped into the great beyond in the rule of 3s. That's it, guys.
Yeah, we need 3.
You hear me?
We need 3 bad ones to pass away now.
To balance. Odie's out here thinking about how to make a killing still.
Yes, we need to balance this.
We got to knock off 3 bad ones.
Yeah, we need to knock off some of the like pedophiles and whatnot, you know?
Speaking of knocking off pedophiles and bad people.
Well, bad people is subjective in this movie, but
Odie Matthews at the movies?
yeah.
Odie Matthews at the movies.
So this week we saw how
to
make
killing.
Let's just jump right into this. Like you said, we've been going at this for a bit. News was good this week. Good news segment. But how to make a killing. We've got Glen Powell as not only star actor but producer. I don't know if you saw that at the end of the film. Producer credit for Glen Powell, which is a funny thing because Amanda Seyfried recently came out noting to her producer credit in The Housemaid, saying that was purely a vanity credit. Like she actually didn't do anything. All she did was act.
Dumb.
Which I think is funny because I've had this suspicion for a while that people who are like star actors in films getting a production credit, it is that.
Yeah.
And so for her to come out and say that kind of like validates that a little bit. And I don't know I'm not going to say what Glen Powell did or didn't do on the production side for this film, but I feel like if you're the lead actor for a film, like that's what you do for the film. You're not the producer.
I feel like he had say in the creative direction for his character because one thing that I like Glen Powell a lot, and this movie continues to solidify how fucking good of an actor he is. He only has one movie that I don't like, and it's the one with Sydney Sweeney. Anyone But You.
I don't know that one.
It's the one where they like pretend to be a couple at a wedding.
Here's the thing that I'll say about Glen Powell. His voice is more handsome than he is.
Absolutely.
Like every time I hear him talk, I'm like, who is that? And then I come around the corner. But that's a backhanded compliment because I feel like he's humble enough to not care exactly how he looks at every moment. So like there are some moments in this movie where I'm like, you look weird.
Well,
like,
he looks like a normal
like I look
dude.
at him, I'm like, he looks like sometimes he looks like a normal dude.
Those
sometimes
scenes.
he looks like the most chiseled jawline you've ever seen incarnate. You know what
Well,
I mean?
that's just Glen Powell,
he
baby.
does have those moments, but that's cool. That makes him a more dynamic actor, and I think it makes it more believable because he's not just super put together every moment of every film he's in, which I think is good.
As this movie progresses, he looks more and more put together. As his life advances through the plot, I feel like he starts to dress nicer and look nicer.
Oh yeah. But I like that. That was a strong part of this movie was that like I was like, oh cool, yeah, he looks different all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So Kevin, why don't you give us an idea of what this movie's about?
Buddy, let me tell you, there is an old story from, I believe, 1907 called The Autobiography of a Serial Killer. Many movies and forms of media have paid tribute to this in one form or another. This is just the latest in a long line of that. Now, the reason I'm referencing that is because that laid the archetype for this type of film where we are sequentially following essentially a serial murderer. And I would say this is one of the better adaptations of that, insofar as the storytelling mechanism is, hey, let me tell you my story, which is how this old story goes from 1907. But the mechanism is I'm about to be executed. And so as he gets into the story of like, hey, I bet you wonder how I got here. We're like, well, you murdered people. Obviously, I saw the trailer. And so then we follow Glen Powell, whose mom was unceremoniously cut from the family estate, but not the family irrevocable trust. Now, here's a funny thing about an irrevocable trust. You might be like, how do you get rid of that? You fucking don't. And that's what this movie relies on. It's irrevocable. It was drawn up by a guy whose name is Whitelaw Redfellow,
which
is fucking... What is that naming mechanism? You've got two colors,
name generator,
and two
baby.
Words, law and fellow, and white and red. Those he might as well be pink fellow law. Like this is where we're at with Ed Harris's character. But anyway, so Ed Harris kicks her out, and then she's like, "Hey, you know what? We're still gonna have a pretty good life. I'm gonna go work at the DMV, and we're gonna live in Jersey. That's not a great life." And then Glen Powell's like. Glen Powell's like, you know what? I need to have a better life, and I'm really in love with this rich girl who got a horse on her birthday. And then her mom dies unceremoniously, and is like, you need to keep going and never stop until you get the life you deserve. And he really takes that to heart. And when he gets older, that girl stops back, played by Margaret Qualley. I forget the name of the character, but she shows up, and she's like, Julia. She shows up and she's like, hey, well, you could always just fucking kill off your family members. And then he, while working at a suit store in New York City and still living in Belleville, New Jersey,
Bellevue Township.
Is like Bellevue Township, New Jersey, is like, you know what? I think I will.
I think I will kill everybody.
And then he embarks on a journey. Some twists and turns along the way, but ultimately we're watching him sequentially knock people off the tree until the family tree, until he gets to the point where we meet him, which is about to be executed. And you might be like, oh, what family member was it that got him caught? Surprise. It might not be a family member that got him caught.
Great cast of characters as well. You got Glen Powell, Margaret Qualley, Jessica Henwick, Ed Harris, Zach Woods, Topher Grace shows up in this. Just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The director's pretty new. Doesn't have a lot of directing credits. It's John Patton Ford, who did a movie with Aubrey Plaza a couple years ago called Emily the Criminal. I've been meaning to watch.
This guy's real into criminal movies.
I've been meaning to watch that one.
It's good.
Yeah, overall, I think this story is pretty well done. I think the one complaint that I would definitely stand by is it's pretty predictable. I feel like it's not super hard to tell what's going to happen and where the story is going to go.
Yes. Well, this is a dark comedy, right? So dark comedy, archetype, like I said, it's paying a lot of homage to a story that has been done and done and done and done. There's even a theatrical play called like A Gentleman's Guide to Murder, I believe it's called, which is very similar to this. So like, yeah, like if you can't predict what's going to happen the majority of this movie, congrats. You've probably just watched your first movie.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things I don't think you'll be able to predict. I think if you watch way too many movies like me and you as well, like you can kind of guess some of the harder twists that happen in this movie.
Yeah,
but
at the same time, I think ultimately it was validating even when I guessed the twist.
Yeah.
Watching it, and this is something that we talk about a lot. Like, I don't think that my ability to guess a movie lowers its quality, right? I think I should feel rewarded whether or not I was correct, because every movie has an element of mystery to it, because if a movie's good, well, every good movie has an element of mystery to it, because it will have you thinking, what is going to happen next? And even if you have both, like, even if you have the correct idea or assumption about what's going to happen next, you're still trying to guess it. You're still engaging with the story. And when you feel fulfilled for either getting it right or fulfilled for observing a twist that you didn't see coming, that's when the story itself is good. And I will say, I felt fulfilled and or validated every time something happened. Like, I thought it was a good story overall. So, Odie, garbage, bad, fun, good, or great?
I think
you're having a hard time.
I am. I think I'm gonna say good.
I'm gonna say good, and closer to fun.
That's what I would say.
So like, that's what I would, because like ultimately, end all be all, I enjoyed watching the movie. It was fun. If somebody was like, "Hey, would you watch that again?" I'd be like, "Yeah, you know what? If you want to watch it, sure." Like, am I gonna go put it on again? No, I watched it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know this story, right? So like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. Shogun season 2 is coming.
Oh
out.
my god.
But so I've got a fun way to go through the rest of the plot of this movie with spoilers, because really the spoilers are all adherent to the plot insofar as it relates to Glen Powell murdering this colorful cast of characters. So Odie, I'm going to have you, if you don't mind.
I do
rate
mind.
Each of
I gotta go
these-
watch Shogun
okay.
season 1.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You are 100% correct. You know what? Let's pause the podcast and play a little intermission music. When we come back, you'll have watched all of Shogun season 1.
Okay.
Ready?
Mhm.
Here we go.
My god,
Odie,
that
what'd
was
you
the
think
most
of Shogun season 1?
He just Shogunned so hard. That was the show. I liked.
He does.
I liked when he said.
really does.
I liked when Shogun said, "I'll be back to
I am the
Shogun."
Shogun.
That was so good.
I like the part where he shows the person his gun.
Yeah,
That was
in
great.
Japan.
Okay, so let's rate these murders from 1 to 5 knives in the back.
Okay.
Because that's how I feel like we should rate murders. Now, when the story really kicks off, like we mentioned, Glen Powell's working in a suit store. Margaret Qualley as Julia shows up and is like, "Hey, you could always knock off your family." He's like, "Well, you know, I've been obsessed with you my whole life, so I'm going to take that to heart." And the first person he decides to knock off is Taylor Redfellow, who is played by, hold on, let me get this cast list up, is played by Raph Law, whose only job in this movie was to play a rich dick, and yes, he fucking delivered.
just
on
a
that.
party
I thought
guy.
He did a great job. Yep, just a party guy, throwing money at people, calling them poor, jumping
Making
out
him
of a
eat
helicopter.
the money in a pool.
He doesn't think anything bad's ever going to happen to him. And then what happens? Glen Powell on a ski-doo coming up to your yacht. Here he comes. He's going to get on the yacht. What are you? You're hungover and blacked out. He's going to tie an anchor around your ankle. And he thinks for a second, I might not kill this guy. But then it's wet and he slips. And the anchor falls into the ocean and Taylor Redfellow gets drowned. And Odie, what do you think?
I don't know. I think that's like a 2.
I agree. 2 knives to the back.
Yeah.
Here's how I would rate the murders in this movie, because it's called How to Make a Killing, right? So the movie should be showing us how to make a killing, right? And I know there's a double meaning because the family's rich. So making a killing is like making a ton of money. Making a killing, how to make a killing happen. I would say because it was unintentional, that automatically knocks it down.
Yeah.
1 knife, right? Because he really didn't do much, that knocks it down a knife. And because he second guesses himself right before the actual killing happens. This was murder in the 2nd degree, right? Or endangerment that it ended up in murder. Yeah, so 2nd degree. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, 2.
I think
2 knives.
My issue with this kill is after this happens, he goes to the funeral and he meets his...
Which is a bad move. If you're... hot tip for any of our listeners who are serial killers, don't show up at the funeral.
Yeah,
you will get caught.
That's a bad idea. But
yeah, don't do that.
He meets his uncle, who gives him a
Yeah.
job that pays well.
He meets the father of the guy he just killed. Yeah.
And so I feel like there's almost a point in this movie where after just doing one of the killings, his life takes a drastic turn for the better. He gets in with his uncle.
100%.
He gets a job. I mean,
Yep.
even befriending, who we'll talk about in a second, Zach Woods' character, who is like the wannabe artist Redfellow.
Yep. Noah Redfellow.
Noah, he could have just honestly just became friends with a lot of his family and probably gotten money that way. You know what I mean? Like his cousins and whatnot.
There's an alternate story here where he just cons them and drains the family bank account, right? Like there's that version where he probably gets away with it. But instead, he continues on his vendetta because none of them showed up to his mother's hospital bed while she was dying.
Or funeral.
and they didn't let her get buried in the family crypt, and he's holding on to that. He's got a locket that he periodically pulls out in the movie to remind you that he has a grudge, and he's delivering on that
and
grudge.
I think that makes sense. And this first kill, it gets a 2 because it's accidental in a lot of ways, and it's a lot. It's also luck. It's a lot of luck.
He put in a lot of effort to get in the right position at the right time, only to second guess it and then have it just happen anyway, right? Which is more luck than anything else, yeah. But, like, first off, you had to get to that party, get into that party, get onto that boat. You know, like, there's a lot going on there where I'm like, wow, this is fucking wild. Like, and he's lucky that everyone on the boat just happens to be passed out and hungover, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm with you on that. Then we meet Noah Redfellow. Noah Redfellow
favorite.
is the artist of the Zach Woods.
I love Zach Woods.
I would say Zach Woods is the standout performance of the film.
Absolutely.
As this, like, and he's playing a character that we've seen before, but just, like, done up a little douchier. Like, he's been on Avenue 5. He's been on The Office, Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he is a character actor in that I think people get him specifically for his mannerisms, the way he delivers certain things. I love him as a character in shows and movies, and I think he does a really great job just being another version of this character here. I might get sick of it someday, but for now I'm not.
I liked when he was like, "Oh, I just realized I hate both of you," and he just like walks away.
Yeah,
like,
oh my
he's
God,
just so good. Like,
so great. He has so many great one-liners,
Yeah.
and like he's a caricature of rich artist douchebag. They even when they introduce him, he's doing the interview. She's like, "Do you have a day job?" He's like,
artist.
Artist."
He's like imposter syndrome, but not for me, for other people. It's like,
that's fucking. There's so many good like one-liners that he delivers. Glen Powell as his character Beckett Redfellow.
Yeah.
So Beckett decides that he's going to, and here's where I will like deliver one of my criticisms of this film. I don't know how he learns all these things that he knows, you know, because like there's this almost like part Fight Club moment where he's like, if you mix these things together, it makes an explosive solution. And like I remember that in David Fincher's Fight Club being like, oh wow, how'd he learn that? And then they show you how he learned it, right? And like, oh, he's actually been into this the whole time. But like for this, like he just like it just cuts to him explaining it as he's prepping to murder him, and I'm like, okay, interesting.
That happens a few times.
But like, yeah. And so I would say that's a criticism of mine is like, how is he
so good at getting into places and making things that like he worked at a suit store. How did he learn how to make bombs and get lanyards and shirts to like infiltrate airports and stuff? Like,
just give me like a small montage of him doing some research, you know, or something.
If this had also been set in like the 90s, it'd be a lot easier to believe that he's sneaking in places, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere now. Yeah, how do Ring cameras not capture him? Anyway, so Noah, it turns out, smokes cigarettes in his photo development booth on the roof of his loft apartment in New York City to hide from his girlfriend and or fiance.
Just girlfriend,
I forget what
Ruth.
it is. Yep, girlfriend Ruth, who becomes Beckett's love interest.
Yeah, Jessica Henwick is incredible. I love her in this.
I agree. I think Zach Woods and Jessica Henwick kind of make the movie. Glen Powell's great and whatever, but like their performances really help to bring a lot of well-roundedness to all the scenes that they're in.
I agree. What I like about that whole thing is after Nolan, is it Nolan? Yeah, Nolan. After Zach Woods' character, Noah. Thank you. After Noah dies, which we'll talk about, but I like that Ruth is like, I was gonna break up with him. And Beckett's like, you want to get dinner? And she's like, yeah, I do. Because you're not a douchebag.
There's a lot of very happenstance moments in this film. That was one that was a little more grounded, believable, and I enjoyed it. But that goes back to her performance. I think her performance
she's
was
great.
How do you rate... So Beckett goes in, plants a cigarette on the ground, which would have been a thing that he would have had in there, right? And then he's got this explosive cleaner combination in the photo trays, and then he puts the cleaner under the sink. I also don't think did he have gloves on when he did that? Regardless, like There's a lot of stuff he does in this film where I'm like, you're busted, Betty.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way.
You're done. I don't know if you've watched CSI. Apparently, you learned all this stuff, but never watched an episode of CSI.
Yeah.
But like, so then he goes in there, he breaks the light bulb so that it sparks when you go to turn the light on, right? And then Zach Woods goes in. Noah Redfell pulls the string, and the explosion happens. And this is just after Beckett has lured Ruth,
he leaves his
away
jacket
from the apartment.
And I like that moment.
On
he
purpose.
leaves his jacket on purpose. She goes after him, and then they kiss. And I'm like, that was a good, like, she's like, I thought you were trying to get me alone. He's like, come here, baby. I'm going to kiss you.
He's like, I was. And then she's also away from the explosion.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a huge thing, too. How do you rate this killing? 1 to 5, knives to the back.
5. This one was my favorite.
This one, I think this is the only actual proper, appropriate, like, this is the only one that's a 5 in my... Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to rate these as we go. I'm with you. This one's a 5 for sure.
I like this one
planned.
the best.
Yep, it was planned. He even got, a witness away from the scene. He's leaving. Everything's going down. It's great. Next, we get in, and I believe this was the order, although at this point we just get a couple real quick ones. We get Cassandra Redfellow, played by Bianca Amato.
I thought Topher Grace's was next.
Oh, was it Topher Grace? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Pastor Stephen J. Redfellow, played by Topher Grace, who makes a very short appearance in this film, but is like to the nines. Like so I watched. What's really funny about this film is they didn't do a ton of like interviews separately on talk shows and stuff. They just did like a press junket where like there's a bunch of different like listings for like the cast being interviewed for this movie, but it's very clearly them just in the same like void space of interview.
Oh yeah.
And then these people like dialing it. One of the interviews I watched is someone going, I actually stepped away from a 2-year-old's birthday party to talk to you guys right now. I'm like, that's not important.
Not
man.
really.
Whatever.
A 2-year-old's not going to remember.
But Topher Grace said in these interviews he makes fun of the types of people that he's portraying in this film. Your mega church pastors who are telling, and like life coaches that are telling people that they can fix their lives while also charging them tons of money to do so, and most likely evading taxes. And funny story about that, I've met a couple in person. So he was very spot on with the personality, and he's just a fun, funny douchebag.
I think he's the second funniest in my opinion because his scene's so short, but it's so on the nose with mega churches. He's like, we opened a church in Korea because they have something about like tax laws or whatever. So like implying that he can make more money. He like shows off his sword. He like jumps on a mini trampoline next to his desk. Like he's wearing a leather jacket and like bracelets and necklaces with a white t-shirt underneath as he's like playing guitar for his congregation and stuff. Like it's just so like on the nose, but done in a way that doesn't make you like take you out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's not done in a way that like is, I don't want to say like distasteful because it is distasteful, but it's funny.
I love the introduction where Beckett's voiceover is like, he finally catches up with him. He's like, and he's built whatever this is. And like, it's just the shot of him playing guitar, and then it cuts to him being like, but God. And like, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah. All right. Well, because like, this is like a real thing with American Christianity where like pastors will be just like multi-millionaires and like, and absolutely be not great Christians and then be like, but you all have to show up and tithe 10% of your income to the church. Don't worry about it. And he plays that guy. He does him to a T. Beckett comes in. He's got some poison. We see him very carefully squirt it in his like
smoothie
protein shake
thing.
whatever the fuck. Yeah. While Topher Grace isn't looking. And then Topher Grace is like, this is like the one moment of like conflict tension that we get where you're like, oh shit, the family might be onto him. But then Spoiler alert, they're not. Topher Grace is like, I know who you are.
You're running a hit
And you're
piece.
like, oh, shit. Yeah, he's like, you're right. Yeah, he thought that he was like some other journalist from like the Wall Street Journal or something like that, or Washington Post. He's like, you're not that guy? And
you're not running a hit
piece? No,
piece?
I'm your cousin, man.
He's like, I'm your...
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I did like about this is every time he meets somebody, except for like, well, I guess not every time, but when he meets some of these people, he's like when he meets Noah, and he's like, this might sound crazy, but I think I'm your cousin. And it's like,
yep,
dude, I just love that because like props to Glen Powell because he plays it off really well, but it's that whole like, I think I'm your cousin. It's like, no, you're his cousin, which just makes it even funny.
Yeah.
Like there's that element of, and then like when it happens with Topher Grace's character, and he's like, I'm your cousin. He's like, oh shit, man, my bad. It's like,
that was really
it's
funny.
like looking in a mirror. We look alike, and it's like, you don't, but okay.
So around these like murders, just before Topher Grace, we get introduced to the FBI characters who are like, "Hey, we're interviewing family members. Are you an heir to the fortune?" And he's like, no,
not that I know
and
of."
I was like, "Dude, yeah." He's like, "Not that I know of," and I'm like, "All right, you're not playing it well. You're not playing it cool, man." There's a lot of moments where I'm like, you would be busted, buddy.
Well, yeah. I feel like, especially with the moments with the FBI, it's like, I was like, dude, put on a better face. You're blowing it right now. You're blowing it.
Lie better. You're lying to everybody else. Lie better now.
As for Topher Grace's character, it's a pre-workout because he says that if you ingest like 1,500 milligrams, you can give you a heart attack. So it's like raw pre-work. It's the ingredient for pre-workout is what he squirts in his drink.
Here's the thing. Once again, I would have loved just a scene where it shows how he knows that. Like, make it a product that Topher Grace's character sells that's, like, in the health and science market, you know, that is, like, poorly regulated, you know, and, like, give us that fact. Like, oh, yeah, the health and food industry is poorly regulated, so a lot of times people are testing these things on their actual customers rather, like, that get approved by the FDA because they actually haven't completed the studies on them yet, and this could give you cardiac arrest. Like, because that's real. Like, that's a real thing that actually happens. And then do the killing, you know?
Like, even a scene where, like, he sees him at the gym and he sees him pull out pre-workout. Like, how did you know that pre-workout? Like, how do you know that he works out? Because I might be crazy here for thinking this, but, like, if the guy doesn't work out and then they found a bunch of pre-workout in his system, I feel like people that know him would be like, well, he didn't. Oh, well, I guess they kind of explain that by being like, the church didn't want an investigation. So maybe that's the loophole.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like, the funny thing there would be, like, the reason I'm saying, like, show me that montage instead of just explaining the thing that you put in there and how it could kill him. Like, show me that montage because there's an extra joke in there where, like, Topher Grace's character has, like, Revolution RX, the pre-workout or something, you know? Like, which also feels very real and funny and, comical. So, like, I feel like there are a few missed opportunities with the storytelling, but ultimately, following the string is still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next we get
hang on,
the real. Oh yeah, rate 1 to 5 knives in the back. What do you got?
3.
I'm with you. Yeah, no 3.
Wow,
it's middle of the road.
Kevin.
Yep, it's middle of the road. I think
it's better than the Anchor, but it's not nearly as good as Noah.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't seem as well planned, right? He doesn't even know that a hit piece is being written on him, but he knows to pose as a journalist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That to me didn't make sense. And then we get 2 back-to-back. We can rate both these together. We get Teeth Whitener killing Cassandra Redfellow, played by Bianca Amato. We only get like 2 shots of her just being a dick.
Her character's incredible, by the way. She just adopted a bunch of kids that don't speak the same language. And there's that moment she's like, I'm on the phone. Do we know what phone is? Do I need to tattoo it on my fucking forehead? And I'm like, girl, calm down.
Well,
I love that. It was
once again, very real. These people exist, you know. Like she's adopting kids to appear a certain way, and then you get they show us how it's performative, right?
Yeah.
And then she goes to her spa, and then he shows up with fucking
complimentary teeth
whitener
whitening,
out of the mist.
And he's like, I can give you the info on it. And she's like, I'm not gonna fucking read. Give me that shit.
Now here's the thing. There's a part of me that wants to be like, I wouldn't just accept random teeth whitener from a guy that I've never. Like, she goes to the spa all the time, and she doesn't even go, "Hey,
who are you?
Are you new here?" You know. But then then I remember that it's Glen Powell, and I'm like, well, very handsome and fit man is handing you teeth whitener. I think you take it.
She's also a rich idiot. Like, that's the one thing I do like about this movie is everybody except for Ed Harris's character, which even him to some extent, they're all just rich morons because their estate's like $19 billion. They're all fucking dumbasses.
100%. And then we get MacArthur Redfellow, who gets what I can only call is a I call it sleepy time pilot tea.
Yeah, it's coffee.
He just falls asleep in a cockpit.
He drugged his coffee. Ambience, probably.
Now, the joke here for anybody who didn't catch up on it is that a lot of people who are in the upper tax brackets right now are going for their pilot
and going to space.
It's a huge and like he's basically Jeff Bezos, right? Like he wants to go to space, he wants to fly planes.
I love the line where they're like, how do you feel about people criticizing you because you're spending $50 million to go to space, but your employees don't even have health insurance? And he's like, $50 million? Try $90 million. And I'm like, fuck you.
He's like, fuck my employees. I want to go to space. So he gets Beckett, first off, shows up in an entourage of people. Now, to me, this is the most unbelievable one because I feel like his team of people, like he's a rich idiot. Yes. He'll take whatever you hand him. Yes. I feel like there's competent people around him who are aeronautical engineers who would be like, who the fuck's that guy? You know what I mean?
Unless he's such an asshole all the time that they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. This is the one that was like the hardest for me to suspend disbelief on.
I agree.
Right?
It's pretty crazy.
And so for these two back to back, I think we're down to Cassandra is 2 knives to the back and MacArthur's 1 knife to the back. Because I'm like, I don't really know about this
okay,
one.
so here's my conflict with this. I agree about teeth whitening being a 2.
That's 2.
I think that's a 2 for sure. I think it's right there with the anchor, but for a different reason. The problem with MacArthur's is, one, he goes, it's funny what a laminated pass and a t-shirt, whatever shirt that is that he's wearing. He's like, it's funny what that'll
just
get
a
you.
polo.
And I'm like, okay, for one, how did you get that polo that looks exactly like everybody else's? And 2, how did you just get a laminated pass that lets you in the airport? Like, those things usually have like a barcode or like a number to get past security.
Yeah.
This is a private hangar. But I will say the execution is a 1 knife to the back. His death is kind of my second favorite because he just falls asleep and nosedives, and I think that's really funny. Like, I do like the death itself, but the lead up and like the execution is very hard to believe. So I agree, it knocks it all the way down. But in terms of like creativity on how to kill somebody, knocking them out while they're a pilot because they're an arrogant asshole, that would bump it up to like a 4 in my opinion.
Okay.
But like it is a 1 at the end of the day because like the death, him dying is not the same as Glen Powell's character executing it. You know what I mean?
You're saying extra points for creativity, but
it's still not enough.
But still not
it's
enough.
Still a 1. I agree
to
with
get
you.
Past the fact that it's sloppy.
It's the least believable. Like it really is because like airports have such high security. There's a private airport. We go to this place called the Burns Pub. It's a British and Irish inspired pub. You go there, they have like Guinness, they do beef Wellington, they do like cottage pies, they do all of that. So fucking good. We go there all the time. Not all the time, but we go there a lot. And it's right down the street from a private airport. I've been to that private airport because I went on a private jet. And even doing a private jet, the security was like going to this hangar and stuff was like you had to have a pass that was provided by the airport. And like you had to like clear stuff and like they checked your bags and stuff. So the fact that he just walked in with a laminated pass and nobody questioned it really was hard for me.
Once again, if this was set in the 90s,
if
exactly.
This
was set even just back like 2 to 3 decades, I'd be like, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you could do that. This is pre 9/11.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, you got it. You know,
100%.
Maybe that's what it is we're in a post 9/11 world, and Glen Powell's just sneaking into an airport. No, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I agree.
If I can't get my Magic the Gathering cards through customs without getting pulled aside, you're not getting in with poison.
Fair.
In the meantime, while this is going on, his relationship with Ruth has developed because she represents, I think, the thing that he needs, but doesn't necessarily know that he wants.
Yeah.
She even has this beautiful little bit about dreaming small and how we're not. I thought this was probably the best line of the entire movie,
to dream
where she's
small.
like, She's like, it's actually scarier in some ways to dream small because you're not taught how to do that. You know, she's like, we're taught to have all these big dreams and aspirations. She's like, but what if I just want to be a teacher and like have a nice impact on people regardless of like what the pay is and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, that actually was really impactful, and I wasn't expecting that monologue in this film.
I think that's really good because it comes right after she asks him, oh, if you had like $1 billion gun to your head, what would you do? And I got the impression, I'm curious what you think, I don't think he knows what he would do with that money. I think for him it's just he's supposed to have it, so he needs it, but he doesn't know what he would actually do with it because the only thing he can come up with is he goes, I'd take you to a better restaurant. But if you ask most people, Kevin, what would you do with $1 billion? Most people will be like, I'd buy a plot of land, I'd get the house I want, I'd get the car I want, I'd go on vacations. Like, people have answers, right? But he didn't have any.
I would immediately find ways to spend almost all of it, like to help my community.
We would go to space.
Period.
You and I would go to space. We'd podcast in space.
And it's not like and you know, this is a really funny thing. Like this movie, like I think where I am, I think you have a different answer for like what you would do with $1 billion, like at different points in your life. Here's another question. I'm gonna ask you this question before we continue with because we're up to Ed Harris now, or well, no, we're up to
but he didn't
the
get
uncle
murdered. He just died of a
yeah.
heart attack.
But yeah. Zero knives to the back.
He's not a murderer
because he just dies.
And also, I like that
Glen
relationship with his
Glen
uncle.
Powell likes him.
Yeah, I was like, that relationship was sweet.
Yeah. But so, Odie, if you were if you were in line for a family, if you were in Glen Powell's Beckett's circumstance in this scenario, would you kill people? Like, would you kill Ed Harris if you knew that like he was an absolutely horrible person and like you're gonna like inherit the family's wealth?
I would do what I kind of said before. I would befriend the cousins.
Yeah.
And get in like the one that he kills with the anchor. What was his name again? Tyler. I would befriend Taylor and Noah and like honestly slowly mooch off of them until I had accumulated like a few $1 million, and then I would just go retire somewhere. Because I have I think I have the charm and personality.
So your answer is no, you would not murder.
I wouldn't kill. I would do something that's still like kind of sinister in the sense that like I would get in with Taylor, be a part of his like entourage, be like, yo, we're related, and like try to like hype him up and stuff to where he's giving me money, and I would literally just take advantage of how fucking dumb these people are and like mooch in the sense of like getting my own fortune from them because they're so fucking stupid.
Allow me to rephrase and see if it changes your answer. You have the ability to kill one person in the world who's like, you know, they're just like not a good person, right? Like, you know that they're just, they are a net negative for most people's like biological human experience. And you know that you can get away with killing that one person. Do you do it? Because that's what this movie kind of made me ask myself. It's like this movie makes you ask a couple moral questions, like, what would I do with $1 billion? Would I kill somebody? You know?
The problem with that is I wouldn't waste it on somebody in my family who has a fortune. I would probably aim a little bit bigger.
No. The question is, like, if you could kill one person, just like a really bad person, and you know that you could get away with it, would you do it?
Probably.
This is crazy. I was thinking about this in the shower after watching the movie. My answer is no at this point in my life. Yeah. Okay. My answer is no. Like I honestly couldn't bring myself to do it. Like that. And when we get to the Ed Harris part, I'll explain like how I've come to that. But like, but I'm very similar to Beckett in this sense because so he develops his relationship with Ruth. They get engaged, and then they're about to have their engagement party, and Julia shows back up. She's shown up a couple times and been like, oh, hey, I noticed shit's going down. My husband sucks. Do you want to have sex? And he's like, no. And then she's like, all right, well, you know, you've been busy and a lot of people have been dying. It'd be a shame if something bad happened. And I'm like, she fucking knows. And then she shows up later and she's like, I'm here to blackmail you now. I need money. I can't live without money. And you're my source. Like, I've got pictures of you. I'm blackmailing you. And he's like, but I've got my engagement party tonight. And then he gets a letter from Ed Harris that's like, hey, I'm going to invite you to a soiree. And he's like, but I've got my engagement party tonight. And so all this shit's going down.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to keep going.
Sure.
Sorry,
I'll keep going.
well, because no, you're right. Like engagement party. Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
When it comes to Margaret Qualley's Julia, she's married to this guy, and we saw him early on in a flashback playing piano, because they went to school together with Beckett and Julia.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think that guy's name was like Niall or something.
Some rich white guy named from New York.
Played by James Freshaville.
Do you think he killed himself, or do you think Julia killed him and staged it to be a suicide to leverage it against Beckett in the end?
Oh, he killed himself.
I think she killed him.
Oh, okay. No, I think he killed himself.
Because she found.
100%.
Oh, well, I guess she wouldn't have been able to because she was on the phone and she was like getting her nails done or something. Yeah, he killed himself.
So the guy who plays Niall, so she shows up and blackmails Beckett, and she's like, "You need to get me $300,000. You still have access to the books." And Beckett's like, on his way out, just yells at an intern. He's like, "Trade PSG," like, and you're like, "What?" Like, and then he's like, "Just fucking do it." And then he gets the $300,000. He shows up at this like place in fucking Newark, right? Like where this broker is, because like it turns out Julia's
like a
still
hedge
in
fund
Newark.
manager or
And
something.
She's tried to like seduce him a couple times and realize that her claws still aren't in him, and like she's obviously a narcissist and a control freak just like the rest of his family, but he happens to be attracted to her, so like it makes it, there's some tension there. And I think Margaret Qualley did a good job playing this character, but I think ultimately like it was one of the weaker performances in the entire film.
Yeah.
However, so he gets to this like place and he's like, yeah, my wife's just gonna fucking take it from me and then leave me anyway. And like you're like, wow, this guy's life sucks. And he thought it was so good earlier, but it turns out it sucks. And this was where I knew that Margaret Qualley, like I was like, she's been the villain the whole time. Yep. And like not only for Beckett's character, but for this guy Niall or whatever his name is, she's been his villain. She even calls up Beckett like, and this is I have known some females who behave this way, and I'm not going to get into a deeper discussion about this, but that conversation where she calls up and he's like, "You're married now," and she's like, "Yeah,
ask me out again.
Over. Ask me out.
Do you want to go out?" She's like, "I'm married,"
what?
And then she hangs up.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm married." Ew. I know this person, and I know this person exists regardless of gender, but like just because of my personal experience in life, I know some women who have behaved this way, and I'm just like, when I saw that scene, I was like, I know this conversation, I know this setting, and fuck that girl for real. Like I was like, oh, she's an antagonist in this film. But then you find out later she's been compiling the evidence. She knows about the murders. She can prove that he did it, and so she blackmails him into giving $300,000 to her husband. And then he goes off to go face off with Ed Harris after he completes this. FBI's tailing him, obviously, because all of these murders have been happening. And then, so this is where, like, I think you and I were talking about, it's a little predictable. FBI's tailing him. These crazy things are happening. The climax was, for the most part, predictable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Ed Harris's character, right? So,
yes,
we move through Margaret Qualley. Julia blackmails him. He goes to give the money to her husband. He touches a letter opener. That letter opener ends up coming back later because the Julia's husband kills himself with it. They find Beckett's fingerprints. That's what ultimately does him in. But before that, he goes to this. He goes to the Redfellow estate because he believes that what's his name, Whitelaw.
Whitelaw Redfellow.
That Whitelaw invites him to a dinner party, and he calls Ruth, and he's like, "This is my only chance to meet my grandfather." And she's like, "Why would you even want to do that?" And he's like, "Well, because I do." And she's like, "Don't forget you have an engagement party." And he's like, "I won't, trust me."
He's like, "But I can't resist murder."
And so originally he wasn't going to do it. And then when he gets blackmailed, he's like, "I've already got hit for embezzlement and assault," because he slaps the husband. He's like, "Fuck it, let's go kill the grandfather." And it's under the pretense that this is like a dinner party that Ed Harris is hosting, but he gets there, nobody's there. He's like, "Oh, I canceled it because of the weather. Let's talk." It's very clear.
Which is bullshit. There never was a dinner party.
No, of course not. And from the beginning, it's clear that he knows something. Like, he just knows. And then Ed Harris pulls out a shotgun and chases him around the house for a little bit, and then Glen Powell puts an arrow in his neck.
First he hands him the shotgun. And he's like, "Draw a bead on something." And he's like, "Sure." And this to me, Ed Harris has two options in his mind. He's like, I'm either going to pass the torch to this guy because he's going to fucking murder me, right? Or I'm going to kill him. Like, and these are the two options in Ed Harris's character's mind, right? It's either he kills me and has to live with that and essentially becomes me, becomes like, because he has that quote, he's like, people talk about your conscience, but like if you turn just the right way, you can make the voices in your head a whisper.
He also kind of hints that maybe
eventually you don't hear him at all.
Killed people. He's knocked off competition.
100%.
Yeah.
So like you're kind of like, yes, the master and what he perceives to be the student. This is very Darth Vader coded, right?
I like Darth Vader.
And so like, this is very Darth Vader coded.
I like this whole moment. I like this whole sequence we're talking about.
I like the tension. I like that he doesn't shoot him, and I like that immediately after, because as soon as he doesn't, and he's like, I'm out of here, and he's like about to be triumphant, I'm like, the fucking doors are locked. And then sure enough, the doors are locked. And it's not a very long, like, that's not what this movie doesn't turn into Ready or Not, right? It just like we get like a very short climax of Ed Harris trying to find him luckily remembering archery from being a child, even though we never see him do it ever
just
again
once
in the film.
In a flashback.
It's like riding a bike, baby.
So, yeah, I guess.
And he gets the first shot goes wrong, right? Which is, of course, right? Like,
I like
and
that,
then
though.
the second and third go right in Ed Harris's heart. This isn't knives to the back. I actually give this 0 knives to the back.
Well, it's not a murder.
Because
it's self-defense.
It's self-defense, exactly. But while he was doing this, a murder has happened. Julia has murdered her, or Julia's husband has murdered himself. And
that's called suicide.
He gets. Yep. So as this is going on, all of this is happening in the background. He makes it home for his soon-to-be wife, right? The engagement party's over. She's upset, and she's like, you've been hiding something. And he's like, I'm going to tell you the truth.
But not the real truth.
He doesn't. Yeah. He just tells her about his
voiceover was really good, where he's like, there's
Yeah.
moments where you need to come clean, and you need to tell the person you love the truth. This is not one of those moments. I was like, hell yeah.
Which told me everything about where his character was at that point,
Yeah.
and helped me guess the ending of the film. So, speed run. He gets framed, gets put in jail, death penalty because he crossed state lines. It's a federal crime, so death penalty is available. He's on death row. He's admitting all this stuff to a priest, and this is where you find out that, like, because, like, if you're, like, watching the movie, you're like, oh, he's actually admitting to all these other crimes that he's never been tried for to this priest, which is wild. Then the priest just starts praying for him, but he's like, oh, I thought Julia would come through and let me out, because it turns out she visited him once in prison.
It was like, there's
and
a
she
note.
kind of has like, yeah, she has like the elevated version of her previous conversation, where she's like, hey, I've got a thing you want. And he's like, I want that thing. And she's like, well, too bad, I'm not interested. And you're like, oh, fuck you. Like,
yeah, that scene's really good.
That scene is probably the best scene that she's in. I think
Absolutely.
Every other scene, I'm just kind of like, all right, yeah, I get it. You're playing this character. But like, that scene was really good. She goes back over, she gets on the phone, and she's like, well, maybe that letter could show up. And then it turns out right before his execution, she's submitted the letter to the police. He's exonerated for his crime.
He signed over his whole estate to her, though, too.
Yes. She goes, sign over everything to me. And he's like, and this really, like, it shows, like, it's like, the predator becomes the prey type thing.
Yeah.
Like, which is a nice twist. Once again, predictable, but nice. And then this is the moment that I really like at the end of the film. He comes out, like, she submits the letter. He doesn't get killed. As he's coming out of the prison in New Jersey, because that's where we are, as he's coming out of the prison, Ruth is there. Jessica Henwick's character. She has the locket from his mom, and she goes, here. She basically is like, here's your fucking locket.
She doesn't say a word.
And no, she doesn't. She speeds off in this shitty Honda Civic.
I want to talk about that
like,
too.
Yeah. And then he turns around, and I liked the filming of this because it shows us and like, once he like it's like behind him, I'm like, there's no way he didn't see her. So like in my mind, he comes out of prison, he goes to Jessica's character, right? To Ruth. He goes to Ruth. She's like, here's your fucking locket. I'm out. And then he turns around, and who's the only person left for him? It's Julia. She's been there the whole time.
Yeah. I like how Jessica Henwick is dressed in like plain, like regular, like I don't want to use the word like lower class clothes, but she's dressed very normal.
Oh,
right?
You mean she's not dressed lower class than Margaret Qualley's character with her chauffeur?
And her car is like,
you can say that.
Her car is like
thing.
a 2001, and then you turn around and here's this nice like Rolls Royce with Julia in this nice dress with like jewelry and designer sunglasses. Her hair is all nice. She's got a chauffeur.
And the butler who had locked him in the estate with Ed
and also
Harris.
gave him the note as a kid.
Yeah.
Like that whole contrast where then he's like driving off with her. They're not saying they don't say a word to each other. Not a word is spoken.
Yeah.
But he pulls out the champagne from the car and he's like, fuck it. And you know what, Kevin?
100%.
I'm going to admit this for everybody. I'm not afraid to admit this. If I had gone through everything Beckett had gone through, and somebody that looked like Margaret Qualley was like, I guess I'll be with you forever, I'd be like, okay. We're billionaires and you're kind of hot? All right.
Here's the thing. There are a lot of accidents that can happen on a private estate. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? This is just giving him one more target, and he's got his whole life.
Or they're both going to be
figure
targeting
out
each
how to
other.
off that one. I want to see the Mr. and Mrs. Smith style sequel to this.
But you know what?
Like the
thing I will say
up?
about that is if she owns the estate and they're not married, she has no reason to kill him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I like that ending where in the end she has everything, but like she doesn't have the guy that she wants, and it's kind of a nice. I don't know. I kind of like that. Like at the end of it, Beckett was the guy that she did kind of want.
No, okay. So here, allow me to interpret, if I may. I'll give you my interpretation. What I got out of this. She never really wanted Beckett. She wanted a thing. She wanted a symbol, right? Like she's looking for a trophy husband who she can be the trophy wife thereof. And when she realizes she has enough agency to just seize a fortune, she fucking does it. Because that's how she's been literally from like the introduction of the character. She's like, I don't think she actually wanted Beckett. I think she wanted a lapdog who had money.
See,
you know what I mean?
See, and the reason I think a little differently on that is because when they're kids, there's like an actual. She actually seems to like him, even though she knows he doesn't have money. Right? There's that moment.
But that's a brief moment
at the piano, which is why I'm like, and when she sees him at the suit store before she knows that her husband, or at the time fiance or whatever, blew all of their money and they're broke. There's a moment where she says, and I feel like this is one of the only moments where like she's being genuine, where she's like, it's nice to see that you're still you know, like, and I felt like that was a genuine moment where she was like, you're still the same kid that I remember. And I feel like that's what sparked her being like, there was something with Beckett, and like, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like part of her did
see that. Yeah.
I don't know.
That to me was her going, oh, yeah, no, I still have this influence over you. Look at how you're behaving.
I guess,
you know?
Because at the time, you know, she didn't know, like, she thought she was married to somebody who had a bunch of money. She didn't need the money at the time.
Yeah.
So, like, I felt like that moment was genuine. And then it was when she realized that she didn't have money that she was like, oh, I could probably take advantage of Beckett and get money from him. But, yeah, I don't know. Like,
this character, to me, played by Margaret Qualley, feels very much like Jenny in Forrest Gump, but just more malevolent.
Oh, yeah.
And throughout the movie, you just see her flexing her influence over him intentionally, right? Just kind of like she calls him up. She shows up in his office. She's like, you know, uncrossing and crossing her legs in front of him. She's constantly flexing this attempted control over him. And it's only when she starts to lose that control that she really starts getting vicious. And so that, to me, shows me that it was all about her influence and control the entire time.
I feel like she just got desperate.
Maybe. Well, obviously that's a component too.
Yeah.
But yeah, but at the end, he basically re-quotes Ed Harris and says like, yeah, eventually you just don't even hear the voice of your conscience at all. And the fucking this is where I think there's two lines, and this is what made me think this movie was good instead of just fun. He says, this is a tragedy. And then the tragedy at the end is that he has nothing, just like he had in the beginning, just under different circumstances, but he's made it into the estate. The tragedy is like he's made it into the estate, but at what cost?
Everything.
You know?
Because there's a point,
yeah,
and they highlight it. There's a point in the movie where he's even talking to the priest as he's like telling the story, and he's like, I should have stopped. I had the girl, I had Ruth, I had love interest, I had money, I had a good job. You know, I was where I should be in life. And
yep,
I think that to me was one of the more interesting parts. Is like, and like you said, the conversation with Ruth where she's like, it's scary to dream small, right? But like,
yeah,
he has this idea. I think also a big part of this, and this is my interpretation, I think he misinterprets what his mom says about, you know, don't stop till you have the life that you feel like you deserve.
I think so too.
Like, I think he took that as, oh, I'm supposed to be a red fellow and own the estate. And I think she was just like, no, just like be happy, dog.
Yeah, know? No, I think, yeah, I think the real meaning behind that, yeah, I agree with you. I think he misinterpreted it, and then, you know, is just kind of like this misguided anti-hero, and we're meant to be rooting for a bad guy in this film.
Yeah.
You know, we're meant to be rooting for the anti-hero. I do like how it ends, though. I did kind of not see how the scene played out with Ruth happening at the end.
Yeah.
Like I had a feeling she would be there, and then when they showed her, and this is what I mean about it being good and like kind of satisfying, I was like, okay, there's a couple ways this could go right now. You know, like she could either
forgive him,
and it goes, she doesn't, she could forgive him, and I'm like, that would be cheesy, and she doesn't. That's good. I like that.
That's the storybook ending. Where she goes, you weren't a murderer, and you didn't kill anybody, and you. I'm so sorry, and I love you. Let's go live our life together. Where I'm a school teacher, and you're whatever you do now.
Well, imagine being her, like he walks over to her, but behind him the entire time, all you see is this Julia character, you know, because that's where she was.
Well, because in
like,
the trial,
she was in Ruth's line of sight.
Yeah, because in the trial, they say, was Beckett in love with you? And she's like, Beckett's been in love with me since we've known each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he has.
Yeah, I mean,
she's
that's
not wrong.
Yeah, he definitely is. There's definitely an obvious resistance that he's having to do when it comes to her.
Yeah. Yep. There's another character that is similar to Julia that is also like ruthless, and I just watched this movie last night for the first time, actually. Bullet Train.
I love Bullet Train.
The Prince in Bullet Train, the little British girl.
Oh, I don't like that actress, but
she was great though. Like I loved that character. I was like, oh, you're such a fucking
Bad
psychopath.
Bunny's in that as the wolf.
Bad Bunny is in that movie. Wait, you know what's really funny? Like when it first popped up, I'm like, Bad Bunny, and then he's only in it for like a couple minutes. Yep. I was like, Benito, what are you doing, buddy?
I like Bullet Train.
Yeah, no, it's a very good movie, but that character reminded me a lot. I was watching it last night. I'm like, oh, it's Julia.
That's a very good point.
Just a little psychopath. Overall, good movie. Go see it in theaters if you get the chance. If not, it's fucking Netflix will own it soon.
It's fine on I think this is one that's like fine for streaming too. Like,
yeah,
I think there are some movies that I will always be like, you need to see this in theaters.
I need to go see Send Help.
I'm thinking
before
about
it's out
seeing
of
that
theaters.
today, actually.
I might go see it tomorrow. Like I feel like you know, we were talking about how we've only seen like one really great movie in theaters so far, and I feel like we're missing an opportunity right now as a podcast that talks about movies to go see a great movie in theaters with fucking Rachel McAdams and what's his name?
Dylan O'Brien, who I love.
There it is. You love him.
He's great.
I don't know him. I don't recognize
that man. He's from The Maze Runner, bro.
Oh, shit. You're right.
And he's from...
I still didn't recognize.
He's from a great movie called Love and Monsters.
He's the main character in The Maze Runner. I fucking forgot.
Ooh.
You know who I remember from The Maze Runner? Will Poulter.
Yeah,
That's who I remember from The Maze Runner. But like...
you should check out Love and Monsters from 2020.
I should.
It's got Jessica Henwick in it as well. It's
listen, man.
Michael Rooker. It's a good movie. I like that. I'm gonna watch.
Listen,
that
man. I'm gonna go see Send Help. I think this weekend. But also, Shogun Season 2 is coming out this year.
Kevin, what's your jam?
Fucking Shogun Season.
That's not out yet. It doesn't count. last week you made it a point to point out to me that you gotta know when to let a bit die, Odie. I'm gonna get you improv classes because you don't know when to let a bit die. I'm a furry.
It's only getting funnier.
What animal in Shogun inspires your furry costume? I'm curious.
It's the Shogun.
Is it are you dressing up like a panda?
Yes, 100%. I'm dressing up like a panda. Okay, here's my jams this week. So I have been a big fan of Good Tiger for a long time. They are in the post-hardcore realm. They just released their latest album, The Most Negative Day of the Year. I highly recommend if you're a fan of like Royal Coda or Tides of Man or any of those post-hardcore bands that I'm listing that you're only a fan of if you go to like the When We Were Young festival. Or if you're a Bad Omens fan, or if you're into like that kind of like post-hardcore pop rock jammy infusion like Artifacts, Perio, Idola, Dance Gavin Dance, like they're kind of in that realm. The singer has this beautiful tenor voice, so it's very high pitched, but I know that's a turnoff for some people. But also the Deer Hunter, and I'm gonna look
the game that used to be in bowling alleys.
No, that's Buck Hunter. The Deer Hunter. I live in upstate New York. That's not just in bowling alleys. That's like everywhere you go up here. Like you're in the DMV and they've got Buck Hunter.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
The Deer Hunter, longtime concept band. They did acts 1 through 5 of an entire concept over the course of like roughly 15 to 18 years. In the meantime, also doing an entire color spectrum concept album, which is fucking insane. Casey Crescenzo, one of the original members of the Receiving End of Sirens. I know that this probably sounds like gibberish to some people. I assure you, everything I'm talking about is the highest quality of musical experience. Receiving End of Sirens changed my life when I saw them. Like, literally, my brother and I saw the Receiving End of Sirens open up for Census Fail in, like, 2006, and we literally turned to each other and we're like, do you want to fucking leave? Like, that was the best thing we're gonna see all year. And like we were like, we're gonna stay for the concert, but they win. Like, and then Casey Crescenzo went off. He is a School of Music grad from Boston, and he formed the Deer Hunter. His brother's in the band as the drummer. They're absolutely phenomenal. I cannot recommend them enough. They released their first new single, which is venturing into like a weird sci-fi realm, which to me kind of feels a little bit Coheed and Cambria, but like at the same time, I'm very interested to see where they go with it. Like I said, music school grad, so the musicality is just through the fucking roof on this. It's called The Glass Desert 1 Giants, and it's by the Deer Hunter. It's spelled DEAR. If there's anything at all that I was going to recommend this week that somebody listened to, it would be that song, because I feel like even if that's not your style of music, you would appreciate it.
Okay.
And those are my jams.
Nice.
Yeah, what do you got?
I don't have anything new because this week wasn't a big week for consumption for me. I had Monday off because of President's Day. I kind of just laid around and didn't really do a lot. Worked on like some D&D stuff and some video stuff for Magnum Opus. So my jam, because I'm seeing them for the first time in concert on Tuesday.
Oh.
Is Oldie Buddy Goodie, my favorite band of all time, Bad Omens. They
hell yeah
are on tour doing the Do You Feel Love tour. I didn't get to see them like 2 years ago when they were in Colorado because I had a ticket and something came up that day and I wasn't able to go to the concert, and then they ended up spending like 18 months over in Europe and Australia and stuff doing a concert tour. So they haven't been in America in a bit. We were hopefully maybe getting a new album from them this year. But one of the guys in my D&D group, his name is Austin. He likes kind of like the similar music. And I have this extra ticket because somebody, I won't name names, was like, I can't take off work and not get paid to come to a concert with you. And we won't name who that was, but it was you. Which is totally fair.
Not on a Tuesday, man.
Yeah, no, the guy that's on a Tuesday fucks it up for me too. Like, it's a Tuesday concert that starts at 7 o'clock at night with 2 openers. And I go to work at 5.
Who are they on tour with right now?
Beartooth and the Priests. Or
fucking Beartooth? President.
The President.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna check in on how this is with you. Do you know President? Do you know the background behind this
No.
band? All right. So President is as they have been dubbed, and I'm normally not like their music's fine. It's not 100% my cup of tea. President, the lead singer they're a masked band, so like very Sleep Token-esque. When they first announced, they already had like huge industry backing, so like everybody very appropriately was like, this is an industry plant. And then they were like, and an industry plant, for anybody who doesn't know what that means, like this is actually some of the most appropriate labeling I've ever seen of an industry plant. President came out of nowhere. They had never released an EP. Like Sleep Token released EPs. They had done demos. They had done, like they were building up over a course of a long period of time. Like 2019, they were nowhere near where they were in 2022.
Yeah.
Now they're selling out arenas, right? That's huge. President is already on tour with Bad Omens. They just released their first single last year.
Oh.
Like, this is what I mean when I say industry plant. They came out of nowhere, had a lot of backing, obviously a lot of money going behind them to like promote their singles and things like that, and really get them in front of the right audience. That's what an industry plant is.
They have the same label as Bad Omens, so that makes sense.
And everybody's like, oh, I know this guy's voice, and it's a singer of another band that's like a little lesser known, but like everybody like. And they're like, the band president's like, you don't know who it is. And it's like, we saw him leave this concert and go to a President concert that was the same night. And obviously they didn't play at the same time. We know who this is. Like, it's really silly. And then President's like, we're not industry plant, Sleep Token. You have to respect our craft, whatever. So like the interaction between some of the fan base and the overall music community and President has been kind of negative. That being said, some of their songs are very good. There's obviously quality and crafting that does go into them. So
I haven't listened to
them.
them.
It'll be interesting.
I haven't listened to them yet.
You'll let me know what you think.
Well,
you're going to watch a guy in a Ronald Reagan mask jump around on stage for a little bit.
I'm not.
Which is kind of weird.
Because here's what I'm going to be doing, Kevin.
Okay.
I don't care about openers personally. I'm not a I'm not a big enough Beartooth fan. Like I like 2 of their songs.
Beartooth is good.
Beartooth is good. I like a couple of their songs.
It's Caleb from Attack Attack.
Here's the thing though. The best time to go to the merch table is during the openers.
Okay.
And so I will be
you're going to hear them.
Yeah, I'll hear them, but I'm not going to be watching them is what I mean. Like,
go to the merch table when you first go in.
And then however long that takes, because merch table lines, especially because like similar to Sleep Token, Bad Omens, they released their first album, Glass Houses, which is funny because that was originally going to be the band name. They have grown as they have gone. Like when Death of Peace of Mind came out in 2022.
Yeah, what's his name? Noah
Sebastian.
What? What's his Noah Sebastian,
who is phenomenal in my opinion. I love his vocal range. Like him and the lead singer of Sleep Token blow me away every single time I listen to their albums. Like
always good.
Just their range is absolutely incredible. I'm very excited to see them in concert. I've said this before to you. I don't know if I've said it on the pod. I'm not a concert person. I'm not the kind of person that can go to a concert and have a good time. I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know what to do with myself. And everything I'm hearing, I'm like, I could just put in headphones and cook myself dinner and hear this, and it's the same thing in my mind. Like, I don't.
Me too.
Like, concerts just aren't my thing. Like, I get so awkward about what I'm supposed to be doing, because like I want to listen to music. I don't want to like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like, it's not my thing. So, but I was like, you know what? I need to go see Bad Omens. They are my favorite band.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity before. I didn't. I really want to get some special merch that they sell. And so my buddy Austin, I was like, hey, man, you might like this band. And he was like, well, let me do some research, and I'll listen to them, and I'll see if I want to go with you. And I was like, yeah, man, I got an extra ticket.
Responsible.
I was like, if you don't want to go, I'm going to go by myself. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't really care. Because Nate's not a fan of Bad Omens, which makes total sense. And so...
Well, the audience too for like Bad Omens, for Sleep Token, like it's not what you think. It's if you're not a metal fan, it's not what you think it
Yeah.
is. You know, like I feel like a lot of people who like hear metal music, hear the abrasiveness, or like they hear like Bad Omens and some of the heavier stuff that they sing, or some of the darker lyrics, and they're like, "Oh, I bet the crowd's all angry and brooding." And it's like, actually, the opposite. We're very happy to be around each other.
Noah Sebastian will wear cat ears while streaming video games. Like, come on,
it's fucking great.
But
and so everybody's just having a great time, and I feel like even if you went alone, you'd have a good time.
Yeah, and
you know, just with the crowd that are at.
And
these
so I
shows.
told him where I would start, which is where I tell everybody to start. I would listen to the deluxe version of Bad Omens' album,
Death of Peace of Mind,
Finding God Before God Finds Me.
Oh,
I think that is their best album. It's my favorite album still. Death of Peace of Mind is good. All their shit is good in my opinion. Finding God Before God Finds Me has, in my opinion, some of their most powerful lyrics. That's just a personal opinion, obviously. But Austin came back like 2 days later and was like, "Yeah, I'm in," and I was like, "Fuck yeah,
cool.
That's what I like to hear, baby."
Well, that's great, man.
So I'm going to see them in concert.
I think you'll. Well, if you get there as the concert starts, right, and you get in merch line, you're probably still going to be done with the merch line before Beartooth gets on, honestly.
Probably.
So I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. President's a weird industry plan. I hope you have a really great time at the concert. I was trying to do a bit where I was sarcastic about how I'm not a concert person.
You are a concert fan. I breezed over that because I know you were a concert person. I know
very
that.
much so. I'm going to see. I only have 2 books so far this year. I'm going to go see Idola in Philadelphia, and then I'm going to go see Bill Murray in Boston, and those are like my 2 big concerts so far this year. I cannot wait to see fucking Bill Murray, and I hope everybody listens to them and has a great time.
Do you think he'll do any lines from Groundhog Day or?
Maybe. I mean, they might like clip it in.
Oh, okay.
Like I feel like there is a trajectory. There is a world where Bill Murray, the Bill Murray, shows up to a Bill Murray BILMURI concert and just is present, and people lose their
president.
Mind. Maybe he's the secret singer. That's what it really is.
I'm gonna listen to President today.
You're gonna listen to some President. You're gonna listen to some industry plan.
Yeah. Why not?
Great. I hope you don't sound so excited about it.
Like,
Jeez,
I'm there for Bad Omens, man. And
you know what I'm gonna do. You've got YouTube music, right?
Yes, it's superior.
I'll send you my 2 jams this week because I feel like you would enjoy those. Those would be a nice addition to your weekend. Here's a funny thing. I'll leave you on this. I have a friend that I work with, good friend of mine, Luke. We've been friends for a very long time, and Luke and his wife Kira have both expressed to me that they really don't like the way that the recommendation / algorithm works on Spotify when it's like pushing things their way, because a lot of times it's repeating itself now. And that's based on your interaction, which is unfortunate because a lot of times you just mean to like enjoy something, and then when you plug it into the algorithm, it will go, "Oh, you like that? I'm just going to do more of that then." And you're like, no. I was showing you a thing that I liked. I still want you to branch out. And so I've started doing this thing where I send Luke music to do what I do on a weekly basis, which is what I call fighting the algorithm. Which is like a new hobby of mine. It's like a pastime because it used to be good. Like Songza, when it first came out, had so many like artists and genres I had never really like dabbled into, and then it got bought out by I think Apple Music, which sucks. Like Apple Music
is objectively the worst next to Amazon Music.
It's so bad. But it ate Songza, and so the way that Songza functioned was brought into Apple Music, which was cool for a little bit, but then they started tweaking it to get people to use the app more, all the things like that. I listen to music, especially as a general contractor, probably like at least 12 hours a week.
With my job,
Like,
I always have a headphone in. Always.
Yeah, at least. So, like, for me, I want new stuff. I want different stuff.
Yeah.
Not only that, you know me, I want stuff in different languages, you know? I want the soundtrack to Shogun Season 2. I want just Norwegian hip-hop. But, like, so I've been sending music to Luke to help fight the algorithm, because if you do that, like if you're engaging with different things, all of a sudden it doesn't know what to send you. You know, like all of a sudden, like it, or rather you're training it differently so that it thinks you want more diversity.
Yeah.
Which is really great because my music, Spotify, first off, disclaimer, I know Spotify is horrible.
Yeah.
Okay? Just going to say that right now. However, I and everybody on my family account have very tailored algorithms now, and I don't want to let it go unless something that's absolutely going to blow it out of the water and revolutionize the music industry for the sake of artists is going to present itself in a functional and meaningful, immediate way, right? So, like, I'm on Spotify.
As somebody who's had Spotify, Apple Music, I've even tried Amazon Music, and now I have YouTube Music. I can say confidently, YouTube Music, in my opinion, is the superior music listening app. And the reason why...
Well, I'll tell you what.
The reason...
I will give YouTube Music a chance.
I think you should, because I can add you to my family account, actually, if you want to give it a try.
Okay.
I like YouTube Music for a couple reasons. One, if you like a song or like... I'm going to use an example that I thought of recently. The intro to Vox Machina or the intro to Mighty Nine. That stuff might not be on Spotify, but if it's on YouTube, you can listen to it on YouTube Music with your phone closed. So if there's like a YouTube song that you're like, and you're like, I have to leave YouTube open in order to listen to it, you can get that on YouTube Music and add it to a playlist. Secondly, the algorithm for YouTube Music is actually pretty solid. I have thoroughly. So a lot of the times you'll send me music recommendations, or I'll look up the ones that you've talked about on the pod. And my algorithm for YouTube Music is so perfectly scattered because over the last like couple weeks, I've listened to every song in Bad Bunny's discography at least 3 times. I've just had it on repeat, like nonstop. And because of that,
which is fun,
I'm getting some recommendations for some really good other like Spanish-speaking bands. But because I also listen to like Bring Me the Horizon and Bad Omens and Sleep Token and bands like Bleachers and Noah Khan and people like that, I'm getting in that realm other recommendations, but like they're just like a song here, a song there. And like the YouTube algorithm is tailored to my YouTube channel. So, like, I'm getting all these, like, awesome, like, recommendations of, like, lo-fi music and beats and techno and Spanish music and rock music and metal music. And honestly, like, I like the interface for YouTube Music a lot, too. I think it's better than Spotify's. I would say
the new interface actually really sucks on Spotify.
I would say if you want to give YouTube Music a try, let me know. I'll add you to my family account because it's only, like,
I will.
It's only, like, an extra $6 a month or something.
I'll give it a try.
And I think you would like it.
I'll give it a try. So the thing that I was, getting around to is fighting the algorithm, though. I think you have to do that no matter what. Like, you kind of like that's like a responsibility of ours now.
With
is
great
like
music
you
comes
have
great
to
responsibility.
Exactly. Well, you have to like branch out and go find the things that you're interested in. And for me, a lot of that. What's really funny is a lot of that. I've been programming training my Instagram to do that more. So I've been finding anytime an independent artist has like a pretty good song pop my way, I just follow them on Instagram. So Instagram is now going, hey, we noticed you like these smaller independent artists in these genres. We're going to keep hitting you with that for your ads. Because like fucking every other post on Instagram now is an ad, which is insane. Yeah. Like all of these companies, this is insane. All these companies are just competing for the same thing. Like they all just want to be like the Walmart everything store of whatever, like, and that's all that's going to happen with data is just like this constant congregation and amalgamization, which is not a real word, but like, you know what I mean when I say it, of it's you know what it is? You know how people talk about like AI slop and brain rot and doom scrolling and stuff? It's a congealing of all of this substance and content into one space, regardless of how much art it is or not art it is. Like the congealing of it is just happening until we're just going to have this gelatinous thought data ooze that exists that we're constantly trying to wade through. It's going to be like The Blob. It's going to be like your favorite movie.
Another one we should remake. I think we should remake that.
We're going to be yeah, we are right now in real time, but with data and content and art. We're just going to be wading through it. And that's why we're going to end this podcast thanking everybody for weathering this absurd existence with us. Thank you for listening to another episode of the UnPop podcast. I am your Capitan and Papi Todo Siempre, Kevin Miner, he, him, with Ode Matthews, whose YouTube channel, Magnum and Opus, you should still be going to check out. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about our mental health subpoenas, or would like us to podcast live at your funeral, make sure to email mysecretpoweris at gmail.com. Art by FrankAce, music by moi. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Kevin, why is your furry theme song So What by Pink? So what? I'm still a furry. That's you.
You don't even know the fucking lyrics to my theme song.
Well, no.